Second weekend series of the year for the San Luis Obispo Blues, and we're back here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Now join with me our sports reporter, Mark Robinson for the SLO Blues. You may know him on social media, seeing him down there on the field getting dumped on with some ice, especially on that Caden Cuccia walk-off. And speaking of that, Mark, you know, we're entering our second season with the SLO Blues this year, and for the people at home who may not have been able to make it out to the games or watch the broadcast, what have they missed this past week?
Yeah, dude, let's do like a quick overview of last weekend. Just take a look at the first weekend for the Blues, how they shaped up first weekend out. So they had two-game series, one against the Coastal Dodgers down from Santa Barbara, and another one against the West Coast Kings. Starting it off, their first game against the Coastal Dodgers, obviously it was their first game out as a team this summer. They unfortunately came up short, 10-9. Personally, I did not think it was an ugly loss, though. I think they looked good. I think it was a good first game to kind of knock out the rust, get the hang of things, and start building some team cohesion. And I spoke with Coach Dean Trainer in a sideline interview in one of those games, and he was talking about how this is a real good chance for the kind of the local kids to have a showcase and get dialed in and get the reps that they need before a lot of those higher reputable D1 players get down here, because a lot of them we're still waiting on for the summer. But moving on to their Saturday game against the Coastal Dodgers, anything that they wanted to tweak for that team, they 100% did. They had a very strong win against the Coastal Dodgers the second day, coming out on top 6-2. I feel like the bats were a lot more hot the second day. I don't know about you. Feel like it was?
The bats were very encouraging, and you made a very good point earlier about cohesion. Very tough to do this early on in the season, especially when players are still finishing up their years in the regionals or other rules that their universities have where they can't come to San Luis Obispo before they graduate. So right now it's a mismatch of junior college players and high schoolers and Division I guys, and the loss that the Blues suffered was certainly one that they want to turn the page on, and I really think they did as they saw the offense explode against the West Coast Kings.
Definitely. And I think having a coach like Coach Dean Trainer, who just has so much experience under his belt, he knows how to turn those first game losses around and like really tell the team, like, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to fix. And I mean, it was clear that worked for the team, coming out very strong the next day. Moving into their next series against the West Coast Kings, Sunday and Monday. Monday was a Memorial Day game. Sunday, I think they had around 10 hits and, correct me if I'm wrong, almost no errors on the whole day. I was looking at the stats from last weekend. So on both sides of the game, defense and hitting was very good for them. And then moving into Monday, obviously this is a very fun game to talk about. Blues were down 6-0 on Memorial Day. It was not looking promising for their last game of the 4-game stretch. They brought it to 6-3, and this is a moment that I like to reminisce on. I was standing up here in the press box with our assistant general manager, Nico Calancini, and he looks at me and he says, "Mark, I am feeling a walk-off win. We are going to manifest it." And sure enough, in the bottom of the ninth, Caden Cuccia, the Memorial Day hero, the beast himself, hits a pop out to left field, hits the ground, and I mean, that was just... You can't make those moments up.
That was extra improbable as well, because he came in to pinch run for Chris Johnson in that inning where they put up 3 runs. So he came in, and that was his first at-bat of the day, that bloop single. So I'm glad Nico Calancini was in the back of the press box rubbing 2 crystals together. I wasn't aware of that, but now that I am, that makes sense why we won that ball game.
Yeah.
So now going into to today and for the rest of this weekend, the Blues are wanting to scratch across at least 2 wins against today the Santa Maria Indians and then the Solano Mudcats later on the weekend. Who are some guys you think we should look out for? Who's been having a really good season so far?
Well, I mean, there's a clear first obvious answer for the number one person to keep your eye on, and that is Ethan E.J. Royal. Just has absolutely been hot with the bat. He's getting like a hit almost every time he steps up to the plate. He had several triples last weekend. I think it was 2 or 3.
2 triples.
And he's just been absolutely dominating up at the plate. And I think his play in the outfield goes a little unnoticed too. A lot of people are mainly focusing on how good his hitting is, but he's staying consistent in the outfield and he's making the catches that he needs to make, and he's just playing very good baseball all around.
Absolutely. On top of going 10 for 17, which is unbelievable. That kid's hotter than a pistol coming from Utah Tech. He's got a hose out there in center, and I think the league is being put on notice, as we saw later in the weekend series, that guys weren't running on him. When people were rounding the bases and they saw E.J. Royal having the baseball, they were not looking to test his arm. So to have that arm on defense and to have that bat up there on offense is huge for the SLO Blues, especially when they get to lead off with that. And then having Jake Hicksonbaugh come in after that, who's been a scrappy left-handed hitter for them so far this season.
Yeah, and I'm very much looking forward to getting to watch Ethan Royal play this summer. I mean, we've already seen him have an absolutely dominant start to his season, just cranking hits left and right, which is awesome. And I think that he is going to be one of those guys that you wouldn't expect to see in the lineup, but I think he's going to stay up there, especially even with these new players coming in, which is going to be awesome. And then moving on to other people to look out for. The man, the myth, the legend, one of our favorites up here in the press box, Caden Cuccia. As we said before, he had the walk-off on Memorial Day, and he's looking to stay hot. I had the chance to speak with him after that game. You'll see that interview later on in the broadcast. I actually got the cooler of ice dumped on me as the team was celebrating with him. Very wholesome moment. I was very honored to be a part of that. But
how'd that ice feel? Did it feel like you hit the walk-off yourself when it got dumped on you?
It did a little bit.
If you close your eyes for a second, could you picture it?
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like that's a moment that a sideline reporter has to experience at one point, is getting dumped water on while you're interviewing someone. And I'm hoping that's the first of many for me to be out on a moment like that, sharing it with the team. But anyways, he was saying that, he felt like he couldn't have done it without all of his teammates getting up and hitting before him, and he felt like it was just momentum that was getting built. And, it was one hit, and then that motivated the next person to be eyeing another hit. And then it was just more and more and more. And, I mean, I was standing up here, I was in the dugout, microphone ready, wondering who I was going to interview, because in my head I was like, Nico Calancini just called the game. He had the sports betting mind, and he was ready for it.
So why were you wondering if he was ready to go? He gave you the script.
Yeah, he did. I was ready to go. I actually had packed up the microphone stuff. It was all the way in my bag, and I'm sitting up here watching. I'm like, holy moly, it's a tie game.
Yeah.
I got to grab my stuff. I got to go down there. Like, this is very well going to be a Blues win. And
it came all of a sudden. The 3 runs in the 8th and then the 4 in the 9th to win it against the West Coast Kings. They're definitely looking to ride that momentum today against the Indians. And you're right, the bats have been really contagious up and down the lineup, passing the baton from one guy to another. And as more guys fill in from their colleges, that's a trend that you're hoping to see continuing forward in the season. A little breaking news that Owen Estabrook, the catcher from Columbia University, a Santa Barbara native, he will be making his first start tonight for the San Luis Obispo Blues. So that's another guy to watch out for tonight as well in this lineup, and we'll see how he mixes in with this group of guys right here.
Definitely. Another person that I want to talk about is Jackson Howell. He has a super unique story that we were just talking about while we were prepping for this. So he's a graduate of Morro Bay High School, right down the road here on the Central Coast. So we got a hometown boy. Went to St. Mary's, didn't even step on the field to play because of a coaching change, which put him in the transfer portal. Transferred up to Cuesta and played a season at Cuesta, and then we've got him out here now playing for the Blues this summer. What are some things that you're looking to see out of Jackson Howell?
Yeah, Cuesta last year, 30 innings pitched, 5.4 ERA. Last game, he had a bit of a rocky beginning to his Blues career, allowing 3 earned runs in 3 innings. 3 strikeouts, though. Would like to get those numbers up. And you can't help but wonder if Dean Train is going to loosen the leash on him a little bit more, as he only went out there for 3. And as the arm gets more and more ready to go throughout the season, if you might want to test the waters and push it to maybe 4 or 5 innings for Jackson Howell. But he had a really good pitch mix. He's got the changeup, he's got the slider, and he's got the fastball, and he's looking to work all those things today. And speaking of the portal, Mark, the last guy I think we need to watch out for today is Braden Mondu, a guy who just hit the transfer portal, the infielder from BYU who transferred from Pima Community College. He came in, the first pitch he saw as a Blue was a double burnt over the center fielder's head. And ever since then, I think he's just had real mature at-bats for San Luis Obispo.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. And I had the chance to speak with him as well, and he seems like a very well-rounded, level-headed player. Like, knows what he wants to do out on the field, both playing and hitting, and I'm really excited to see the kind of things that he's going to do for this team. Moving into a little bit of history for this matchup, too, I think this is worth noting. So we've got the San Luis Obispo Blues, obviously, playing against the Santa Maria Indians. These are one of the 2 oldest summer ball teams in the California Collegiate League. The Blues, founded in 1946, and the Indians in 1944. So these two teams have been around for a very, very long time. Indians actually ceased operations twice. They've closed down and reopened 2 times, and obviously they're back now, hoping to continue on the legacy and have a strong team for seasons to come. And then, Nate, you're going to like this, a very notable Santa Maria Indians alumni, also a Cal Poly alumni, Ozzie Smith. I thought that was very, very cool and
very
definitely
cool.
Worth noting. You had the chance to speak to Ozzie one time at Baggett Stadium, correct?
I really did. Yeah, he's a great guy. Really, just his interview answers were so genuine, and he just had a smile on his face the entire time. Certainly a guy that people in this part of the state are very proud to call him a guy who can represent the area with the Santa Maria Indians and the Cal Poly Mustangs. Not just him, though. Tori Lavello, also current manager for the Arizona Diamondbacks, played for this organization as well in the Indians, as well as Robin Ventura. So a lot of big names coming from this group, and they had a long stretch of semi-pro baseball for 65-plus years here in Santa Maria, and when Operation shut down, it was a big shock to everyone in here, and they turned into a travel ball team, and now they're trying to spark that up here this season as they play against the San Luis Obispo Blues. But you're right, Mark, plenty of history between these two teams. I was talking with our general manager, Adam Stowe, before this, and he knows everything about the SLO Blues, and I love picking his brain about the history of this organization. And he said back in the day when this was a really heated rivalry, that once the lights would turn off for their weekend series games, they'd have a fist fight at home plate. Now, this could be a myth, but this is what was told to me. But I just think that's a really funny tidbit, just to think about how genuine the rivalry was back in the day.
Definitely. And I mean, these teams are so close to each other, too. We've got Santa Maria just down the road, 20, 30-minute drive. Having that tight-knit rivalry with a team that is so close is unique. This is a little off script, but I just saw something out in the crowd that I want to mention. A Colorado Rockies hat is being worn by a fan at Sinsheimer Stadium. I am from Golden, Colorado originally, grew up rooting for the Rockies, as painful as that might be for anyone. But it's the second Rockies apparel that I've seen out here at Sinsheimer, which is random.
Something you don't see out here that often out here on the Central Coast.
Not as random as a baby with a Dodgers shirt and a Padres hat. I know that made you grind your teeth a little bit.
It was interesting for sure. Well, we'll get you guys set up. Coming up soon will be first pitch as the managers exchange lineup cards as they try to spark the rivalry that lasted for 65 years here at Sinsheimer Stadium for Game 1 against the Santa Maria Indians. Thank you so much for your time, Mark Robinson.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
We'll hear from you again soon. We're going to take a little break now, but we'll come back, and I'll be calling the balls and strikes for you guys tonight on the SLO Blues streaming network. Weekend series number 2 for the San Luis Obispo Blues in their 77th season in action here at Sinsheimer in front of a packed crowd against the Santa Maria Indians. Welcome back into the broadcast booth, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nate Mills, once again calling the balls and strikes and more for you all tonight on the SLO Blues streaming network as the Blues get ready for this non-conference matchup against their neighbors down the road in the Santa Maria Indians, who do not have a conference to call home quite yet. There's a lot of question marks surrounding this team, a team that has been around for almost as many years as the Blues. They were initially founded in 1944 as opposed to the Blues 1946. Mark Robinson got into it a little bit with the history of the Indians on our pregame show here on the SLO Blues streaming network. But they've been around for quite a while and holding it down at Elks Field in Santa Maria, an old-school rivalry here on the Central Coast being rekindled tonight at Sinsheimer. The Santa Maria Indians existed for over 65 years until the original owner of the team, Scoops Nunez, unfortunately passed away in 2003. Then a new group went to take over ownership of the team. They tried to keep the spark going. They moved to North County, became the North County Indians, where that was primarily a travel ball team, and then eventually not existing at all, and now they are trying to come back to life here in 2024 and playing their first game of the season against the SLO Blues. So it's nice to see a long history between these two ball clubs come to life again. I know, especially for the folks that have lived on the Central Coast for a rather long time, this is a nice sight to see and something vintage. As leading off for the Santa Maria Indians in the ballgame is Johnny DeBrum. First pitch to him, big swing and a miss for strike one, and this is actually Jerem Damry from Atascadero High School playing second base for the Indians out of the left-handed batter's box. Oh, 1. Here's a tapper right in front of Jackson Howell. He'll just flip it over to Chris Johnson at first base, and there's the first out of the ball game. So real quickly, let's go with the defensive alignment for the Blues for this ball game. Making his Blues debut is Owen Estabrook. Behind the dish at first, it's Chris Johnson. At second base, it's Braden Mondu. At third base, Brendan Comerford. At shortstop, Isaiah Munoz. In left, Jake Hicksonbaugh. In center, E.J. Royal. And in right, Eric Furness. As Landon Mabry steps into the plate after the dribbler ground out by Jerem Damry, as that pitch is taken for strike one. Jackson Howell was the opening day starter for the San Luis Obispo Blues, and now he'll be getting the nod today against the Indians. From the stretch, missing outside in the dirt. So to start off his season as a Blue, against the Coastal Dodgers, he went 3 innings pitched, 3 Ks, 2 walks, 4 hits, and 3 runs. 1-1 to Mabry. This one's dribbled right in front of Howell. Same exact ball as last time. Another flip to first, and there's the second out of the inning. Deja vu, the same exact result from Damry in his at-bat, and there's 2 outs for the right-hander from Cuesta College. So Carson Gomes now steps in for the third batter of the inning for the Santa Maria Indians. So Jackson Howell's got a fastball, slider, a changeup. Very heavy on the fastball slider. A modern pitcher, most would say. Oh, here's the slider missing upstairs. He's a big strikeout first guy. Likes to sit the hitters down via the strikeout. Comes after him in the strike zone early and often. As here's the 1-0 to Gomes. Big cut falling away from that pitch, and there's the first strike of the at-bat. So far, he's faced a lot of young hitters in the Coastal Dodgers, and he'll be doing more of the same here with the Santa Maria Indians. There's a more experienced college pitcher coming out of Cuesta. And is taken in there for strike 2 is Gomes. he wants to just sit these hitters down right away and just try to blow them away with the stuff he's got. The fastball and the slider, sometimes the changeup. 1-2 to Carson Gomes. 2 outs in the inning, no one on. Here's a slider missing away for ball 2. 2-2, 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Base is empty. Just underway here at Sinsheimer Stadium. SLO Blues against the Santa Maria Indians, who are wearing their red tops. Blues in yellow. Big swing and a miss for strike 3. So Jackson Howell ends the inning with a strikeout. He goes 1-2-3. We'll head to the bottom of the first on the SLO Blues streaming network.
Program 759. Head to the marketing tent and pick up your bottle of SLO Heat. Hey, let's give away some more stuff.
I'd like to remind you that the bottom of the first inning is brought to you by Apex Technical Sales. Apex Tech Sales. You can find them at glenair-apex.com. Apex Tech Sales. We are here to make you successful. So leading off for the SLO Blues, it's E.J. Royal, the center fielder, and he has been the Blues. If you were to personify this team into one human being, it would be this man right here. He is hotter than a pistol, seeing the ball incredibly well. Last game, he went 3 for 4 with a hit by pitch and a run. And that's just the half of it. He's 10 for 17 on this early season so far, as he takes a first pitch fastball for strike 1. Outfielder from Utah Tech University, transferring from Cuesta College after 2 seasons as a Cougar. Takes the fastball upstairs for ball 1. And Royal has just been on an absolute tear, solidifying himself in that leadoff spot for Dean Trainer's SLO Blues, and I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. 1-1 in there for a strike. A solid first season as a Trailblazer, batting .246, a .336 on-base percentage. Here's the 1-2. Skipping in the dirt, count now evens up at 2-2 to E.J. Royal. At Cuesta, he was a first-team All-Western State Conference and Gold Glove Award winner. From the windup, here's Gary Bricker for the Santa Maria Indians, and this one's fouled right over the press box. I'll tell you, I spent last summer here broadcasting as well, and it's an early season here with the Blues as we play game number 5, and that's the closest a foul ball has ever gotten into the booth. 2-2 to E.J. Royal. Here it comes, breaking ball. Swung on and fouled straight back into the netting. We'll do it again at 2-2. And already uncharacteristic for E.J. Royal in this at-bat alone, taking strike 2 down the middle. That's not something we're accustomed to seeing. And fouling those 2 pitches back. Those are pitches he typically does damage on. Now he's just trying to spoil these away against Breaker. 2-2 upstairs. Count moves to 3-2 to E.J. Royal, the former 2021 All-Area MVP for the Arroyo Grande High School Eagles. There's a breaking ball that misses inside and a leadoff base runner for the SLO Blues. E.J. Royal has reached base safely in all 5 games he's played. So now Jake Hicksonbaugh, who didn't get the start last game, but eventually came into pinch hit and was hit by the pitch against the West Coast Kings in that fateful 9th inning. He's one of the 4 runs that came around to score in the 9th that led to the win. First pitch swinging. This is a towering fly ball out to Duran in center, but he'll camp underneath it for the first out of the inning. So before Braden Mondu steps up, let's take a look at the defensive linemen here for the Santa Maria Indians. And catcher, it's J.B. Kirschenstein. At first base, it's Cesar Garcia. At second, Jerem Damry. Third base, Carson Gomes. At short, it's Landon Mabry. Left field, it's Ricky Smith. Center field, it's Noah Duran. And in right, it's C.J. Seja. So Braden Mondu, the former BYU Cougar, announced recently that he is entering the transfer portal after redshirting his season out in Utah. Before that, spent 2 years at Pima Community College. Arizona native, stayed in state. And now he's here as a SLO Blue. And last game against the West Coast Kings, he was 1 for 4 with a strikeout and a sac fly. As here's another fastball missing upstairs. Count 1-0 to Mondu. Winner of the 2023 ACCAC Regional Championship at Pima Community College. Long pause from Bricker on the mound. Taking out for second base is Royal. Here's the head first slide, the throw, and the tag is in time. E.J. Royal is caught stealing at second base for the second out of the inning. Now 2 away and no one on to Braden Mondu. And that's a stolen base that E.J. Royal typically gets away with. Not necessarily known for his good starts taking off for second base, but he always makes up for it with his speed. Just that time he wasn't quick enough for Kirschenstein. Huge cut from Mondo, and there's strike 1 to him. That's the first time E.J. Royal has been caught stealing all summer. 2-1 fastball missing at his eyes. Hitters count to the second baseman. Last summer played for the DC Grays and the Cal Ripken Collegiate League. And there's ball 4. So a 2-out walk to Braden Mondo. The Blues regain a base runner with 2 outs. And now Brandon Comerford, the third baseman, strides up to the dish. So Comerford's a guy who's known for his power, especially at Ohlone, where he slugged .658 with 12 homers and just as many doubles, 1 triple. Big looping breaking ball in there for strike 1. And so he's been having trouble. This one fouled into the Blues bullpen. We'll do it again at 0-2 with 2 away. 1 runner on. It's Braden Mondu at first base after E.J. Royal got caught stealing for the first time this year. And Jake Hicksonbaugh flew out to center field. Bricker comes set. Takes a look at second. There's no one there. Another looping breaking ball. This time taken for ball 1. Some more slugging numbers on Comerford. .516 as a pistol shrimp in the Prospect League for Illinois Valley. Deep breath from Bricker, now coming home. This one's hit hard to right center field, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. Rounding second base is Mondu, and here he comes to score, and he'll actually be stopped at third. Rene Regalado was waving him to come around to score, and Mondu on his own threw on the brakes and scampered back to third. That should have scored him easily. But it's a double for Brandon Comerford, and right on cue, the slugging numbers are coming back to life for the Ohlone College infielder. So now it's Eric Furness, one of the young bucks here with the San Luis Obispo Blues, getting an at-bat here with runners on second and third, 2 outs in the first inning. Curveball in there for a strike. Entering his senior year at St. Joseph's High School in Santa Maria, originally from Arroyo Grande. 0-1. Missing high for ball one. Last season as a Knight, 375 batting average, a 1220 OPS. 9 home runs. There's a huge cut for strike two. Was a CIF semifinalist down there at St. Joseph's. And last season had 22 RBIs for his high school. Wants to pick up 2 right now for his Blues and get the early lead for San Luis Obispo. Here's the 1-2 to him. Here's a swing and a grounder to third. Throw to first is in time. So the Blues strand 2 runners on after the double from Brendan Comerford. We'll head to the top of the second scoreless on the SLO Blues streaming network. After throwing just 10 pitches in the top of the first inning, Jackson Howell rolls out there for his second inning of work against the Santa Maria Indians. He'll face Cesar Garcia, Noah Duran, and Matthew Molina. Garcia taps this one at home plate. And foul for strike one. Cesar Garcia currently at Santa Maria High School, the uncommitted first baseman. Gets an opportunity in front of a pretty solid crowd here at Sinsheimer on a Friday night. Swing and lined right in front of the Blues bullpen, quickly falling to 0-2 against Jackson Howell. And Howell redshirted his first year at St. Mary's with his teammate Giovanni Blanchette, who hasn't been in the lineup since opening day. 0-2, fouled into the dugout again. Staying alive against Jackson Howell is Cesar Garcia. But Howell and Blanchette, former teammates, former Gales together, but then once head coach Greg Moore departed from St. Mary's, they immediately hit the portal. Blanchette ended up at Fresno City College and Jackson Howell at Cuesta. As this breaking pitch misses outside, holding up on it is Garcia for ball one. And so since then, Howell went to Cuesta last season, had 30 innings pitched, 29 strikeouts, a 5.40 ERA. As a redshirt sophomore, will be going back as a Cougar this next season. Getting some work right now with the SLO Blues. Their season ended not too long ago. Just 3 weeks ago, they were eliminated by Palomar College, sorry about it, in the Super Regionals in extra innings. 2-2 to Garcia. Here it comes, swinging and missing, and actually tipping it back into the netting. We'll do it again at 2-2. Hungry for more next season as a Cuesta Cougar. It all starts here, developing all of his pitches against the competition of the Santa Maria Indians. 2-2. Swing, high bouncer to third. Comerford's got it. On the run, makes the throw over to first in time for Chris Johnson to retire Cesar Garcia. So after doubling in the first inning for his first hit of the game, his first at bat of the game, Brendan Comerford throws out Cesar Garcia on a nice running throw for the first out of the inning. So now the center fielder Noah Duran steps in for the Indians. He retired Jake Hicksenbaugh on the flyout last inning. Duran from Wasco, California, currently uncommitted utility player. And he takes a look at ball one. .6'2", 160 of him, filling that left-handed batter's box for the Indians. Here's the 1-0. In there for a strike. In his senior season at Wasco High School, batting a .460 clip. 3 doubles, 2 triples, 29 hits, 17 RBIs. 1-1. Swinging and a bouncer right up the middle. Moving to his left is Munoz. His throw on the run in time. Nice play from Isaiah Munoz to make the snag, moving to his left and make an unorthodox throw to Chris Johnson right in the chest for out number 2. Munoz, after a fantastic season at College of Sequoia, is heading down to Cal State Northridge to play as a Matador next season. And with plays like that, makes perfect sense. So now Matthew Molina, the designated hitter for the Indians, wanting to keep this inning alive for Santa Maria. As he takes first pitch fastball for a strike. Just 6 at-bats in his high school career, 1 hit to show for it. 4 strikeouts, currently uncommitted out of Santa Maria High School, entering his senior season. 0-1 is fouled straight back. Up 2-0 again is Jackson Howell. Wanting to cap off this inning with another K here in the top of the second. Kicks and fires on the 0-2. Missing inside with the fastball for ball 1. Scoreless here in the top of the second. 1-2, 2 away to Matthew Molina, the designated hitter, as he scoots out of the way for ball 2. SLO Blues currently riding a 3-game win streak. Indians playing their first game of the season. Howell comes set. Kicks and fires. Missing upstairs on the fastball, now 3-2. 3 straight balls from Jackson Howell to Matthew Molina. Takes a breath. Here he comes. Big swing and a miss for strike 3. So just like the first, Jackson Howell gets 2 ground outs and a strikeout here in the top of the second. The Blues will roll up to the bat once again at the bottom of the second inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. I'd like to remind you that the bottom of the second inning is brought to you by Richardson. They're the official hat of the CCL. So after stranding 2 runners on base after a Brennan Comerford double, the SLO Blues will get it going again here in the second with Owen Estabrook making his debut as a Blue here at Sinsheimer this evening. One of the new additions to the Blues organization today, an influx of players coming in from their colleges. As first pitch swinging right off the shin guard on his left foot for strike 1. Owen Estabrook, a native of Santa Barbara, California, and a graduate of San Marcos High School. Played his first season at Columbia University last year. And his first year as a Lion batted .259 and 81 at-bats. Fouling this one out of play for strike 2. Nearly a .400 on-base percentage. 2 home runs for Columbia. Walked as many times as he struck out, 20 each. At that 2 hit by pitches as well. From the windup, 0-2. Taking ball 1 in the dirt. So clearly a hitter who knows the strike zone and knows how to work a count, and Dean Traynor and the fans here at Sinsheimer are certainly hoping that Estabrook can do that here, 1-2 against Alex Robles. Swinging and missing in the dirt for strike 3. Ball gets away, but the throw over to first is in time to Garcia. And the first batter is retired in this inning in Owen Estabrook. So after the Estabrook strikeout, it's Isaiah Munoz batting in the 7-hole tonight. The shortstop committed to Cal State Northridge. And last game he was hitless with 3 strikeouts and a sac fly. And Isaiah Munoz certainly racking up the flyer miles in his career as a baseball player, as this one's popped out of play just over the press box. In the fall of 2022, he was at Rich Hills University of Hawaii and was only there in the fall, as he eventually played at Cuesta that season, the 22-23 season. And after 64 at-bats and batting .234 with a .329 on base, he eventually transferred over to College of the Sequoias in what could have been the best decision he ever made, batting just a tick under .400 at .399. On base at .454 and slugging .638. That's good enough for first team All Central Valley Conference and co-player of the year last year. He was 4th in average, 5th in home runs with 6, and 3rd in stolen bases as this one's hit hard to left. Smith giving chase on it. That's going to land over his head. Isaiah Munoz chugging around first, and he'll cruise into second base with a one-out double for the SLO Blues. Real nice swing from Munoz. He seems to be a hitter that pulls the ball that way rather frequently, but unfortunately for him, it's just been on the ground so many times, and it's nice to finally see him get some air underneath it. And this ball's hit really hard. It one-hopped the fence, and that's a feat that is difficult to accomplish here at Sinsheimer with the huge dimensions, especially in the gaps. I mean, he one-hopped that right at the 380 sign, and that gave him plenty of time to just trot into second base. Nice piece of hitting from Isaiah Munoz. So now runner on second base, one away here for Chris Johnson, the future Cuesta Cougar from San Luis Obispo High School. First pitch swinging, and he fouls this one out of play. Johnson, as I said, just wrapped up his senior season as a Tiger under Dean Trainer at SLO High. Batting .426, a .508 slugging. That's good enough for second team All-Mountain League. 0-1, and he rolls away from the fastball for ball one. Two hits for the SLO Blues as they're in the bottom of the second as this one's fouled straight back into the netting. Still scoreless at the 6 p.m. start here at Sinsheimer. Sun staying out for a long time for these families to pull up to the ballpark and have themselves a day. Here's the 1-2 to Chris Johnson, who has started in every game. This one's fisted back into the netting. We'll do it again at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And for now, while we're waiting for other players to filter on in from their colleges, the only true first baseman listed on the SLO Blue roster. Last game, it was a bit of a dilemma when Caden Cuchilla came in to pinch run for him in the 8th. Who was going to play first? It was Cuchilla wearing that big old mitt. As this one shot into center field, Isaiah Munoz is being waved around to score. Here he comes sprinting towards the plate. The throw is offline, and there's an RBI single from Chris Johnson. SLO Blues strike first off the nice swing from Chris Johnson. That ball was just shot off his barrel. That's what happens when you hit the ball hard. 2 hard hit balls in this inning, and just like that, you can generate yourself a run. Who needs small ball when you can just hit the ball really hard and where people aren't placed? So now, last game's hero, Caden Cuchilla, the designated hitter batting in the 9th spot, showing bunt but pulling away for ball one. So Cuchilla came in to pinch run for Chris Johnson in the 8th inning. And Ryan and I were wondering who Dean Trainer was going to throw out there at first. Was he going to keep Cuchilla in the game and just give Chris Johnson his glove? And that's exactly what he did. As disorienting as those optics were with the small frame of Caden Cuchilla versus the large frame of Chris Johnson, his rather large mitt on the left hand for Cuchilla. Did a good job over there at first. Scooped some balls. No problem for him. Clearly wasn't a problem for the Blues as he essentially won them the game on that bloop single. But the final finishing touches over a win against the West Coast Kings. As that changeup's taken for a ball, count now 3-0 to Caden Cuchilla. Runner on second base in Chris Johnson, who advanced to second on the throw to home. (3-0). Taking all the way is Cuchilla, and there's a walk. Might have gotten a call there. That pitch looked real nice to Caden Cuchilla, but gets awarded first base nonetheless. And now we'll flip it to the top of the order to your best guy you could possibly send out there in E.J. Royal. You know, I just cannot say enough good things about this kid. I mean, he has just been the most electrifying player in this lineup, game in and game out. Has reached base every single game he's been a part of. Has had multiple hits in every game he's been a part of as well. He's got 2 runners on here with 1 away as this one's looped out to right, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Being waved around is Chris Johnson. He's coming in to score. There's the second Blues run of the game. E.J. Royal, so inspirational, man. Unbelievable stuff from the kid from Utah Tech. And you know, it wasn't the hard contact I was talking about earlier in this inning. He kind of got fisted on that fastball in at the hands, and it looked exactly like the Caden Cuccia blooper, except just down the right field line instead of the left field line. Does the job as it brings home another run for San Luis Obispo. And now the Blues smelling blood here in the bottom of the second inning as Jake Hixenbaugh strides in with runners on second and third and 1 out. Tuum skips in the dirt for ball 1. Hixenbaugh from Monterey Peninsula College, still uncommitted, entering his sophomore year. This season, he's 3 for 7 in the 2 games he's played for San Luis Obispo, the 2 starts he's had for the Blues. From the stretch, here's another tower pop-up out to center. Duran camps underneath it. Tagging from third is Cuccia. He'll score without a problem. There's a sac fly for Jake Hixenbaugh. So nice situational hitting there from Jake Hixenbaugh, scratching across another run from the towering pop-up. Just got underneath it. Similar to the first out he made back in the first inning. It was also an F7 or an F8 to Duran. And now it's Braden Mondew, who is currently in the portal. He walked last time up and was stranded at third base in the first inning. Coming set is Robles taking a look at second base, now home. First pitch right through it, his barrel for strike 1. Mondew entering his senior season, a native from Tucson, Arizona. Kicks and fires. Yanked in the dirt for ball 1. Mondew last game was 1 for 4. He struck out and had a sac fly of his own. Wanting to keep the rally going here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. SLO Blues up 3-0 on 4 hits. Deep breath from Alex Robles. There's a looping breaking ball right through the bat of Braden Mondew. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 away here for the Blues. The right-hander kicks and deals. Big breaking ball gets him for strike 3. So Mondew strands a runner at second base, but the Blues strike first. 3 runs on 4 hits here in the bottom of the second. We'll go to the third. 3-0 Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network. 7-8-9 for the Santa Maria Indians here in the top of the third inning. Jackson Howell rolling back out there on the hill for San Luis Obispo after putting up 3 runs. As a comebacker right to him, falling on his behind and scooping it. Nice throw to first to Chris Johnson. 1 pitch, 1 out to Jackson Howell. Bit of an awkward play there as the right-hander's momentum was falling to his left and the ball was hit just to his right. He had to contort his body all the way around it. Had him trip over himself, but he stuck his glove out there, made the play, and was just able to trot over to first and hand it off to Chris Johnson for the first out of the inning to J.B. Kirschenstein. Now taking ball 1 is Ricky Smith. So an interesting tidbit on Ricky Smith. Was talking to him during batting practice in this game, and he went to bed last night not on a team. As he takes strike 1 from Jackson Howell. He actually got a phone call this morning from head coach Joe Hernandez saying that, hey, we got roster spots open. Ricky Smith said, hey, I'll play for you guys. And just like that, he's at Sinsheimer at 3 p.m. for batting practice. The joys of summer ball, folks. And Ricky Smith is a Santa Maria native out of Rigetti High School who's currently uncommitted. And he takes a look at ball 3 up at his eyes. So 3-1 to the left-handed hitter, the left fielder in tonight's game, wearing number 62. 3-1 from the stretch. In there for strike 2, clipping the outside corner. And every at-bat Jackson Howell has been in has had 2 strikes in it at some point. Kicks and fires on the 3-2, and there's the first walk of the game, the first base runner of the game for the Santa Maria Indians. A 1-out walk to Ricky Smith. And now that'll bring aboard C.J. Ceja. Ceja, and right fielder today. Currently uncommitted as a current student at Pioneer Valley High School. He shows bunt, gets it down, but foul. Seen limited high school action down there at Pioneer Valley. Just 27 plate appearances in 3 seasons playing varsity baseball. 3 hits. And now here he is, 0-1 to Jackson Howell. Here it comes, big whiff through the fastball for strike 2. Jackson Howell has 2 Ks on the day. He's looking for number 3 with a runner on first with a 3-0 lead. Here it is, missing inside for ball 1. So last game, Howell was on a 3-inning limit. And so now as he's 2 1/3 way through this game, there is no one active in the Blues bullpen. Swing and a miss for strike 3. There's the 3rd strikeout for Jackson Howell, and another bottle of hot sauce going out to the crowd. And so Blues fans, if you're ever contemplating heading out to a game at Sinsheimer, I'd highly recommend that. You could win some free stuff. Some people just did. A bottle of Slow Heat hot sauce, courtesy of Bon Temps Creole Cafe. Every time the SLO Blues pitchers strike out a batter, if you buy a program, a $5 program, when you enter the stadium, you automatically are enlisted in a raffle in which you could win a bottle of hot sauce yourself, free of charge. So 2 away here, runner on first, and taking off for second is Ricky Smith. Here's the throwdown. Not in time. Bit of a delayed call there from The umpire there at second base, but with a successful stolen base attempt is Ricky Smith. Got a really good jump. It's a tough play for Estabrook to make. So now the first runner in scoring position for the Santa Maria Indians tonight after the stolen base from Ricky Smith. Ceja's up 1-0. Dodges out of the way of that fastball. Now he's up 2-0. Jackson Howell tosses around the rosin bag behind the rubber, steps on it, and now is ready to go. Quickly coming set against the left-handed batter who waggles his bat just behind his head. Kicking and firing. Almost hits him with the fastball that time. Count now 3-0. First out was a grounder back to Jackson Howell. Flip over to first, and then C.J. Ceja strikeout. And Jerem Damry takes strike one. Damry, a tri-sport athlete, a Greyhound from Atascadero High School. Playoff hero 2 seasons ago against Pioneer Valley, blocking a point after attempt. How about 2 point after attempts? Plays basketball, baseball, football for the Greyhounds. And now is batting leadoff for the legendary Santa Maria Indians. 3-2, 2 outs. Here he comes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Fourth strikeout for Jackson Howell. The Indians strand a runner at second base. Still 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the third on the Slow Blue Streaming Network. Bottom of the third inning, and I'd like to remind you that this inning is brought to you by Plan Perfect. Plan Perfect, you can find them at planperfectretirement.com. Contact Sherry Tollerman at Plan Perfect, Corporate Retirement Plan Specialists. So new pitcher in now for the Santa Maria Indians. It's Donovan Kerr. Alex Robles comes out of this game in 2 innings pitched. He allowed 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, all on 48 pitches in 2 innings. So now it's Donovan Kerr coming in, and first guy he'll face is Brendan Comerford. He doubled last inning. Was eventually stranded at second base. his bat starting to heat up here for the SLO Blues as he takes a look at strike one and a 2-0 count. Fastball Hunter, real flat swing through the zone. It stays in there for a real long time. That's how he generates all that power. There's a big cut from him for strike two. Also does a good job at getting the weight from the back hip hinge to the front. I know, just got a little too technical there. But in his small frame, he can really use all of his body weight into the ball as he punches this one in the air to right to Seha. And he'll squeeze it for the first out of the inning. So Brendan Comerford retired on the pop out to Seha. Now that gives way to Eric Furness. Furness grounded to third base his last time up, right fielder. As some high schoolers depart from this roster and college guys enter the ballpark, he is one of the few high schoolers that Dean Traynor wants to stay. As here's a towering pop-up and foul ground. Moving to his right is Gomes, and he'll come up with it. So Eric Furness sees one pitch, and he hits a towering pop-up to Gomes. Easily squeezes it, and just like that, there's 2 outs in the third inning. Owen Estabrook looking for redemption in his SLO Blues debut after striking out swinging in the second inning. You know, for every time he struck out as a Columbia Lion last season, there was a walk. 20 walks to 20 strikeouts last year in the Ivy League, 2 hit by pitches. And that OBP felt it. Just a few ticks under 400 at 398 for the freshman. 1-0, takes first strike. Some pretty good power numbers as well, and 21 hits, 6 doubles, 2 home runs, 407 slugging. One. Here's a fly ball to deep center. Duran still going back on it. Makes the grab on the run for the third out of the inning. So the Blues go 3 up, 3 down here in the third inning. We'll head to the fourth. My good friend Ryan Giacomini will be joining me the rest of the way through. Stay tuned on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Top four here at Sinsheimer Stadium. The SLO Blues have a 3-0 lead against the Santa Maria Indians, a ball club that's trying to make their comeback after being defunct for a number of years now after having a legendary run here in the Central Coast. Joining me now in the broadcast booth is Ryan Giacomini. Ryan, what are you seeing out of the Blues here in this game so far tonight?
You know what I'm loving so far is Jackson Howell. He's been dominating out there on the mound. A 10-pitch inning in the first, followed by a 16-pitch inning in the second. Only giving up the one base runner, no hits up to this point. A good bounce back from his first appearance. Yeah,
been really efficient here against the Santa Maria Indians. Just all of his pitches seem to be working, and he's generating a lot of swings on the off-speed stuff as well. But it's really nice to have that work for you, and then also the fastball is beating the hitters as well. That's how you know you're truly dominating in the pitch counts you were saying, Ryan. It doesn't get more efficient than that. Holding up on his swing for ball one is Landon Mabry. Mabry grounded back to Howell, his first time up for the second out of the first inning. From the stretch, here comes Howell inside to Mabry.
To me, it looks like Howell's pitches have a little more movement on them today. All three pitches he has, the fastball, a little more inside run, and the off-speed pitch is just diving away from batters a little bit more than we saw last Friday.
2-2. Here's a slider. Taking a look at it for strike three. So there's the fifth K of the day for Jackson Howell. And Landon Mabry's first here to lead off the fourth inning.
There it is, that movement, just slicing away the slider from the shortstop. And he just had no chance, even if he did decide to swing at that, to try to foul it off. I mean, that thing moved a good bit away from him.
Yeah, and as a hitter, it's tough to get a handle on a pitcher like Jackson Howell when you have a changeup that has a lot of arm side run, as this one shot through the right side for the first base hit of the day for the Santa Maria Indians.
Inside out, that fastball gets your first base runner, maybe get something going for the Indians who are looking to climb back already down 3.
Yeah, even with that arm side run, Carson Gomes did a great job of getting those hands inside and punching it the other way. He's got a little bit of barrel on it, not as jammed as I think people probably think he was, because it was shot pretty hard through the 4-hole on the right side. But what I was saying is, like, if you have a pitcher that can have that arm side run and then come at you with the slider, it's very difficult to gauge out of the hand which way it's going to dive. Is it going to come at you? Is it going to go away from you? Great diving stop from Chris Johnson over there at first, but it's foul.
Yeah, really good play there by Johnson. I think if that was fair, he might have had a double play.
Absolutely, it was hovering the line. It was a very close call. But we'll do it again here at 0-1 to Cesar Garcia. He grounded to third base his first time up back in the second inning. There's the slider in there for a strike. 0-2 to Cesar Garcia.
And what are these hitters supposed to do? Howell comes fast. He comes with the fastball inside, and then he goes slider that's starting at the number 4 on his back, and it just finds the inside part of the zone.
0-2. Here's another slider. Skipping away in the dirt and taking off for second base is Carson Gomes. He will get there no problem. So on the dirt ball read, Gomes advances to second, and now another runner in scoring position for the Indians. And I think for the Indians as well, it's been difficult, even for Jackson Howell. I feel like he is uncertain which fastball is going to move and which isn't. So if you're Indians hitters, you're just hoping you're getting a flat one, of which we've been seeing less and less of those. Here's a slider, punch towards the right side. Nice play, Mondu over to first. There's the second out of the inning for Jackson Howell. Advancing to third base is Gomes. And so now, with the first run of the day for the Indians just 90 feet away, it's Noah Duran, who's got a lot of action out there in center field today. Mabry struck out, and now Garcia grounded to second for the 2 outs in this inning, as the fastball misses upstairs to Noah Duran. Carson Gomes got on via the first base hit of the day for the Santa Maria Indians. Stole second base and advanced to third on the ground out from Garcia. 2 away here, 1 out to Noah Duran. This one served the other way, and scoring no problem is Carson Gomes. And losing control of the ball and left is Hixenbaugh. Taking off for second is Duran. Looks like Jake Hixenbaugh misplayed the ball as he was coming up to get it. Bobbled it, kicked it away, and that gave another opportunity for Noah Duran to take another base.
That's a big error there by Hixenbaugh on left, as now you got another runner in scoring position with 2 outs for the Indians.
And here's the tying runner stepping up to the plate in Matthew Molina. He struck out his last time up, and for the first time tonight, Jackson Howell having to put some work in. As the fastball missing outside for ball 1 to Molina. After going hitless for 3 innings, the Indians have picked up 2 in this inning. One-0. Huge cut from Molina for strike 1. Two away here in the top of the 4th inning. 3-1 slow Blues. Here's the 1-1. Missing downstairs for ball 2. And as we get to this time of year, I talked about this a lot last year, looking at the dimensions of Sinsheimer and whatnot, but it's that time of the summer when the sun sets and the light comes behind the trees, and those trees cast some shadows over the mound, and as a hitter, it's difficult to see the ball coming out of a dark area. You're standing in the light, but it seems that the Indians have had no problem with that here in the 4th inning. 2-2 to Molina, taking off for third. Here's the throw, safe. Very questionable call there at third base, as Noah Duran has a successful stolen base attempt with 2 outs.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
A 2-2 count. You got your 6-hitter up there, and you're taking third base? I don't know.
Guess it paid off for them, as the fastball misses outside for ball 4. So now runners at the corners after the Matthew Molina walk and the stolen base from Noah Duran.
Maybe it's just something we're missing, because we saw the Blues do it a few times last weekend as well.
A new wave of baseball, and we're seeing it right in front of our very eyes at Sinsheimer here tonight, as the Blues have a right-hander now going in the bullpen. J.B. Kirschenstein got out on a first pitch ground out right back to Howell, and he takes a look at strike 1, clipping the outside corner. Kirschenstein doing the catching tonight. Now up at the dish for the Indians with runners at first and third. Here's a breaking ball in there for strike 2. So Jackson Howell up quickly over J.B. Kirschenstein here with 2 away, 2 runners on. Slow Blues up by 2. Pumps his front foot. Kicks and fires. Taken for strike 3. Jackson Howell strands 2 runners as the Santa Maria Indians threaten to tie the game. It's still 3-1 Blues as we head to the bottom of the 4th on the Slow Blues streaming network.
Pick up your bottle of Slow Heat from Bon Ton.
Bottom of the fourth here at Shinsheimer Stadium, and I'd like to remind you all that this broadcast is brought to you by Studio Design Group Architects. You can find them at sdgarchitects.com. Studio Design Architects. For 40 years, they've designed buildings with one thing in mind: people. As there's the second base hit of the day for Isaiah Munoz, and he's starting to catch some fire, huh?
Yeah, it's really good to see from Munoz, who started off the season a little cold, but he's picked it up here today.
Some JUCO guys catching their stride here, and Comerford and now Munoz. Be nice to see the entire lineup click together here for the Blues heading into CCL play. So after that base hit, it's now Chris Johnson, whose first pitch swinging on a bouncing ball to the right side. Moving to his left is Damry, and he retires Chris Johnson.
Productive at bat from Johnson. Would have loved for it to go through the hole and get a second hit of the day, but moves Munoz over to second, and now you got a runner in scoring position for Cuchilla. He's been swinging the bat well, and then Ethan Royal, who's waiting on deck.
Yeah, not just any runner in scoring position. Isaiah Munoz, he's got some speed over there at second base, so Blues would like to get a run back here off the hot bat from Caden Cuchilla, who walked in his last time up, as he takes a look at strike one.
To go back to that Munoz at bat, he had been a little cold. He went 0 for 5 in a game on the 26th after being a co-player of the year in the All-Central Valley Conference Player of the Year. Am I reading that right?
Mm-hmm.
So good for him to get the bat going here. He could be a good piece for the Blues this summer.
0-2 to Caden Cuchilla, the Memorial Day hero. Takes a look at the slider, and Cuchilla gets away with a call.
Really good take there by Cuchilla to take that slider that was breaking back towards the outer part of the zone.
Living on the edge, the left-handed designated hitter for the SLO Blues. As here's the 1-2 to him. Swinging, and here's a hit right up the middle. Being waved around to score is Munoz. Here he comes. The throw way over the catcher and Kirschenstein, and now taking off for third base is Caden Cuchilla. Stay hot, kid.
He is on fire, and he's pumped up over there at third. A base hit and a two-base error. Take that right there from Cuchilla.
Real nice to see the kid starting to warm up with all these college guys on the scene, stepping up when it counts. And he continues to do that here with the RBI base hit to take back the run the Blues lost in the fourth.
And now it's just the hottest guy in CCL at the plate with a runner on third and one out.
I mean, hey, the Northwoods kicked off recently out in Middle America, and I wouldn't say anyone's hotter than E.J. Royal is right now.
I mean, if somebody is, send us their stats. We'll be the judge of it.
So the RBI base hit from Caden Cuchilla brings in a run, and this one's hit out to center, just underneath it, though, as Duran is camped underneath it. That's going to bring in a run, though, from third. Tagging up and scoring is Caden Cuchilla. Another productive at-bat from E.J. Royal.
Even when he gets out, one, it's not hurting his average,
No.
and two, he's getting RBIs. This man is incredible.
Three real nice at-bats from the Utah Tech outfielder, and now it's Jake Hicksonbaugh with two away. Hicksonbaugh had a sac fly of his own last time up. He also flew out to center. Noah Duran just getting tons of reps out there in center field.
Yeah, at least 4 or 5 fly balls out there to him. He's doing a good job getting there, but two of them just too deep and both sacrificed flies.
1-0 taken for a ball. And that's what's so funny about playing outfield. You know, growing up playing travel ball, I mean, you're playing sometimes 3 games a day. I mean, 3 games a day, 3 days in a tournament. You're playing 9 games, and sometimes you'd never get a ball hit to you. Or you could have games like Noah Duran, and you can't help but have the ball find you every single time someone swings the bat.
Yeah.
It's got to be ready in every situation. 3-0 to Hicksonbaugh, taking all the way, and there's strike one.
different approach here from Hicksonbaugh, but I like it. He saw one pitch in his first at-bat, 2 pitches in his second at-bat, and now he works a 3-0 count. Would not be surprised here to see him take a big hack if he wants to.
3-1, and he holds up on the fastball downstairs. So a 2-out base runner for the SLO Blues off the walk from Jake Hicksonbaugh.
Here's number 1, Braden Mondo.
Braden Mondu now, recent addition to the transfer portal here, struck out and walked, was stranded at third base in the first inning. Now he gets a shot here with a runner on and Jake Hicksonbaugh after walking with 2 outs. Mondu takes a look at ball 1. SLO Blues have tacked on 2 runs in this inning. They got back the one they gave up in the 4th. That's the first Indian run of the night. And they added on another just 'cause. In there for a strike. So 6 hits on the night for the Blues. They're up 5-1 over Santa Maria in the bottom of the 4th. As Mondu wants to add more. Taking off for second is Hicksonbaugh. Throw is in the dirt, and he slides in headfirst safely. Real good jump from Jake Hicksonbaugh, and some playful fighting with Jerem Damry over there at second base, former teammate of Jake Hicksonbaugh at Atascadero High School. They reunite here after the stolen base from Jake. As Mondu crushes this one out to left. Going back is Smith. It's off the wall. Here comes Mondu with a double. Jake Hicksonbaugh comes from second base and trades places with Braden Mondu, who just scorched that ball off the wall and left.
Yeah, I thought that one had a chance to go.
Me too.
Good launch angle, good velocity off the bat there. Just hit the bottom of the wall and a lucky bounce to the outfielder, Smith. He almost got Mondu over there at second, testing his arm, but Mondu gets in there safely.
And for the first time, we're seeing what the ball looks like playing it off the wall. Usually as an outfielder, when you're prepping for these games, this one's ripped down the left field line from Comerford, you always make it a point at some point in pregame to either do it yourself or have a teammate do it, throwing a ball as hard as you can off the wall and facing the wall and seeing how it plays. Is it going to be soft? Is it just going to drop right down? Is it going to kick off? So it's important to recognize your space as an outfielder. And it appears that Smith did exactly that as he caught a very convenient bounce. Didn't seem to matter, though, as Mondu was still able to cruise into second base for the RBI double.
Mondu's just been swinging the bat really well as of late.
Brendan Comerford, same sentiment as he dribbles this one down the left field line, but foul. Comerford doubled in his first time up. That was a ball that was hit really hard as well in the first. And he flew out to right in his second time up. That one not so much. But he's putting the ball in the air and he's hitting it in the outfield. Something he's used to doing. A lot of power coming from the infielder from Northern California. Here's the 0-2. Swing, this one sent into the parking lot, foul.
Kids, you're welcome to go scramble for it. If you get it, you can take it home thanks to the West Coast T-shirt Company. Quality goods, great service.
Comerford with 2 strikes, 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Runner on second. Serves it the other way, out of play. Staying alive with 2 strikes is Brendan Comerford. Real nice at bat for the Ohlone infielder who went 2 for 5 last game. 2 extra base hits, 2 RBIs. Big stretch from Donovan Kerr, the pitcher who came in this inning. As this one sent out to left, but out of play again for Comerford. Seeing a lot of pitches this at bat and getting very close to making Kerr pay.
Yeah, 4 straight foul balls. All of them hit really hard. Really good barrel contact sounds that we're hearing up here in the press box.
Absolutely. Deep sigh from Kerr before he comes set. Arm stretching up now, coming down to his chest. Kicks and fires on the 0-2. This one is scorched to left. Going back is Smith, tracking it in the sun and makes the catch at the track. What a grab by Smith out there in left, who was battling all the elements but comes up with it with his toes at the base of the wall. SLO Blues get 3 runs in an offensive explosion of the barrels as we head to the top of the 5th. 6-1 Blues, the SLO Blues streaming network.
In the blue.
Ricky Smith, CJ Seha, and Jerem Damry will face Jackson Howell here to kick things off in the top of the 5th inning. Clearly, Dean Trainer's letting him go a little longer here after the 3-inning outing he had on opening day against the Coastal Dodgers. And so Ricky Smith, who walked his first time up, was the first base runner tonight for the Indians. Also stole the first bag for the Indians. Was also the first runner in scoring position for the Indians. Now gets a second at bat here against Howell. Taken in the dirt for ball 1. Count now even at 1-1 to Ricky Smith. So the SLO Blues had an answer for the Indians in the bottom of the 4th inning after Santa Maria snuck on a run there in the top of the 4th. As dodging out of the way of the fastball is Smith for ball 2. Tacking on 3 runs for San Luis Obispo. Lots of loud contact coming off the bats.
Yeah, especially in that Brendan Comerford at bat. I mean, he hit 3 balls foul that were really well hit, and then he almost got one out of this ballpark.
Chopped into the Blues dugout. Yeah, he was just missing those fastballs getting offered up to him by Kerr. I mean, they were going to the parking lot. They were going on the left field line. He was punching them down the right field line. And it almost paid off for him, as I thought his flyout had a chance to exit this ballpark, something you don't see that often.
Yeah, it had a chance. He just got a little too under the ball.
Handsy swing down the left field line. It goes off the glove of Comerford. So reaching first base is Ricky Smith after punching it the other way.
The left fielder wearing number 62, getting a leadoff knock for the Indians, who are down 5 runs.
Yeah, as I said earlier, Ricky Smith didn't have his top choice of number as his head hit the pillow last night. He had no summer ball team. And then when he woke up this morning, reached out to Coach Joe Hernandez and got the green light from him. 5 hours later, he's taking batting practice with the Indians.
It should be. That was it's Ricky Smith on first base.
Right. But we haven't done it.
So no outs here in Ricky Smith after the base hit. Jackson Howell from the stretch. Here he comes. Snack back throw to first is not in time. Bricker dribbles this one to short, to second for one, to first for two. Nice and easy double play from Isaiah Munoz over to Mondu, and there's 2 outs.
Good job there by Howell to get the ball on the ground right to Munoz, who'd already flashed the leather once today. Good toss to Mondu, and then Mondu an easy turnover to Johnson at first for a 6-4-3 double play.
And that's exactly what Jackson Howell wanted. Just what the doctor ordered, keeping that pitch count low. As now we'll flip it to the top of the order to Jerem Damry. Shoots this one right back to the mound, and a nice and easy flip over to Chris Johnson to retire the side. So the Indians have no answer to the SLO Blues. 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th. It's 6-1 Blues as we head to the bottom of the 5th. SLO Blues Streaming Network. So after giving up 3 earned runs in 2 innings, Donovan Kerr's day is finished, and now Julian Diaz will take over for him on the mound for the Santa Maria Indians. Another right-hander being thrown out by Santa Maria. So now leading off for San Luis Obispo, it's Eric Furness. Furness currently 0 for 2 on the day after grounding out to third and popping out to third in foul territory. One of the young guys that Dean Traynor has elected to keep amidst all the older college players that have been added onto the roster within the last few hours. There's a huge cut from him for strike 2. Falling 1 and 2 now is the St. Joseph's outfielder.
Yeah, when they were up here talking about Furness, they were talking about how they really like his speed. They're hoping his bat will come around. He hasn't been able to swing. He hasn't been swinging it that well early in the summer, but his glove has been really good.
Trying to go the other way with it and fouling it straight back for strike 2. Nice night here at Sinsheimer as we enter golden hour. 1-2 to Furness. Good job leaving the slider in the dirt now at 2-2. I can just imagine all the senior photos being taken right now.
There's a whole mob of them. When I'm driving onto campus at night, I just see like 10 of them.
Want to get the perfect shot here. 2-2. Upstairs missing for ball 3. Nice job, Eric Furness, working himself into a full count after falling to 2 strikes.
Yeah, really good job, especially on that 1-2 pitch that he saw. That slider had a lot of fast break, and he was able to take it.
Fastball missing upstairs. So a great at-bat by Eric Furness, and the Blues have a leadoff base runner after the walk.
Now Estabrook, who making his Blues debut, yet to have a hit. Would be a great time to get one right now with Furness on first and Munoz right after him, who has 2 hits already today. Blues looking to add on some more runs here in the 5th.
Yeah, the bottom of the order has been doing it all for San Luis Obispo today. That's been quite the opposite throughout the rest of the season, and by that I mean 4 other games. As here's a dribbler down the line, and that will be foul.
Really good job there by Diaz to hustle and make sure that ball, he got to the ball while it was in foul territory. If not, Estabrook would have had a little dribbler for a base hit that went about, I don't know, 20 feet, 30 feet down that third baseline.
Got just the right amount of spin to it for it to go into foul territory. As now 0-1 to Estabrook. Struck out his first time up, then flew out to center in the 3rd. Just missing that ball in the put out to Duran. And he takes a look at strike 2. Estabrook, a Central Coast native from Santa Barbara, comes from a long line of water polo players. Throw to first is not in time. His father was a D1 water polo player at UCSB, and his sister is on the 14U National Championship team for water polo, the U.S. National Championship team. And Estabrook played himself, as this one's in the dirt, but staying at first base is Eric Furness.
Impressive.
You ever tried to play water polo?
I actually played a little bit in it was a inner tube water polo tournament. So
Whoa.
But in the inner tube,
yeah.
And then you got to move around. It's extremely difficult, probably easier than actual water polo because you don't have to float. But
fouled off, out of play into the grass concourse. So it's like you're chilling on the inner tube, but you're playing water polo.
Yeah, so you got your feet and your
How do you move around?
So usually what a lot of the players would do, including myself, you pick up the ball out of the water, put it in your lap, and you're essentially swimming backwards. So if I'm going behind me, I'm kicking, I'm swimming as fast as I can behind me.
Taking a look at ball 1 out of the strike zone, now 2-2. So I need you to demonstrate what this looks like, because how does someone take the ball away from you?
So there really is. It's more of a non-contact activity. Nobody really takes it away from you.
Serving this one foul again is Estabrook. Do it again at 2-2.
But I mean, you're sitting in your inner tube. Rule was you have to have the butt in the inner tube. You can't go feet through, anything like that. And then you kind of just have to kick and paddle with your arms and try your best to go as fast as you can. Some people got really good at it by the end of the day.
So much splashing. I mean, I would have so much water in my eyes after that. Here's a number to 3rd. Throw over to 1st. Plenty of time to retire Owen Estabrook.
Productive out there by Estabrook to get Furness over to second base, especially with Munoz, who I mentioned. He already has 2 hits today. He's really been finding his bat. I mean, this guy was a co-player of the year.
finally hit in stride tonight against the Santa Maria Indians with 2 hits on the evening, a double and a single. Came around to score on both of those after an 0-for-4 night against the West Coast Kings.
Yeah, and even in those 0-for-4 nights, he was being very productive. He had a sac fly, a ground out, 2 RBIs.
He was always just one swing away, and that has happened this evening, as he now has a runner on second base here. This one sharply hit to Mayberry, and he botches it. So reaching first safely is Isaiah Munoz off the error from Mayberry.
And not a hit, but he hit it hard enough that it forced Mayberry to not be able to make the play. And he's standing on first for Chris Johnson, who had a hit and an RBI earlier today. Like you mentioned, the bottom of this order has been getting it done today. Munoz, Johnson, and Cuccia all have a hit, Munoz having 2. And the top of the lineup in Royal, Hicksonbaugh, and Mondu have 2 themselves. So the bottom of the order is getting it done today.
And the Blues don't even have everyone on their roster in SLO yet, as there's a stolen base from Isaiah Munoz. And I know that exact mentality that Munoz has. As a player, when you reach on air, it's just not fulfilling at all. You're on second base, or you're on first, excuse me, and you feel like you cheated. And so, like, you're thinking, I have to make this up somehow, right? Like, I did not earn this base. I'm going to steal it right away. And that's exactly what Isaiah Munoz did there. Been there plenty of times.
Now it'll be interesting to see what the pitcher Diaz does with a base open and Johnson at the plate, who has swung the bat well twice today.
Base knock in the second, that came around to score. He advanced to second on the throw. And a sharp grounder to second base for the first out of the inning in the fourth. 1 for 2 on the day for the future Cuesta Cougar. 2-1. This one's crushed to left center field, but coming in on it is Smith, and he's going to let it drop right in front of him. Lots of topspin on that hard hit single, which brings in another run for the Blues.
Blues just continue to get it done at the plate. Johnson's second hit of the day, and I know we've already said it now twice this inning, but the bottom of the order is just getting it done here for the Blues.
A screamer off the bat from Chris Johnson, falling right in front of Smith. And I think that was really hard to play with the shadows in his face and the sun coming down right in his eyes, plus the topspin. As a left fielder, you feel helpless and a ball coming at you that hot with all those elements working against you. Showing bunt is Cuccia, going right back to the mound, now going home in time to get out the runner, and Isaiah Munoz, who tried to scamper home on the Caden Cuccia sac bunt.
And a good idea there from Cuccia to lay it down. He just was right back at the pitcher. I would like Cuccia to swing the bat, though. I don't know if that was a coaching decision there or if that was Cuccia's decision, but he's been swinging it really well. He's 2 for his last 2 at least that I can think of off the top of my head.
So after the bunt from Caden Cuccia, the fielder's choice, he reaches first, and Chris Johnson's now at second. And E.J. Royal fouls this one straight back into the netting. E.J. Royal looking for his second hit of the day after a double in the second inning. Bloop double down the right field line, a sac fly in the fourth, and a walk in the first. Got caught stealing for the first time this season on that walk. And a base hit up the middle. Here comes Duran in on it, being waved around as Johnson chugging home for the 8th run of this game. RBI single for E.J. Royal. You have got to be kidding me.
This guy is unbelievable.
How many more times can we say it? I think we are officially blue in the face.
Yeah, I don't know. I might be an E.J. Royal fanboy at this point. He's 2 for 2 today. A walk, an RBI double, an RBI sacrifice fly, and now an RBI base hit. He has 3 RBIs, and we're just in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, you're just now becoming a fanboy? I've had a poster of him in my room for weeks now. Fastball missing outside to Jake Hicksonbaugh, who is searching for his first hit of the day.
Don't worry, I got a life-size cardboard cutout on the way. We'll put it right up here in the press box with us.
right next to the Caden Cuchilla fathead we have up here. 2-0 to Jake Hicksonbaugh, who walked his last time up. He stole a bag. Also had a sack fly in the second. Flew out to center in the first. Chop foul right in front of the bullpen.
Oh my God.
Hicksonbaugh from Monterey Peninsula College was a stud at Atascadero. Here comes a double steal, and the throw goes down to third. It's not in time. Blues pull off a successful steal of second and third with 2 outs.
Now a base hit for Hicksonbaugh makes it a 10-1 game, as E.J. Raw has, plenty of speed out there to score on anything that touches down on the outfield grass.
Cuchilla out there too. He's also got plenty of speed as Hicksonbaugh pops this one straight up. Infield converging on it, calling everyone off is Mayberry, and the side is retired. But the Blues tack on 2 more runs from another base hit from E.J. Royal and a sharp single from Chris Johnson. We'll head to the top of the second, 8-1 Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network. Top of the 6 here at Sinsheimer Stadium after the Blues tack on 2 more runs against the Santa Maria Indians. The bats are just coming to life. Lots of loud sounds coming down there on the field.
Yes, they are, and we were just talking about him during the break, before the break. We're talking about him all the time, it feels like, up in this broadcast booth. E.J. Royal is just on fire, man. 2 for 2 today, 3 RBIs, a double, a single. In his last game, he had 3 hits. Nate, I want to add that base hit gives him his 5th straight multi-hit game, and we're just 5 games into the season.
5 for 5 on multi-hit games for E.J. Royal. Let's get better than that.
I don't think it does. Like, how hot can this man get?
A double in the second and an RBI single in the 5th. Real solid contact right back up the middle to add the 6th run of the game for the Blues. Excuse me, the 7th run the game for the Blues. And now it's 8-1 San Luis Obispo after 2 in the 5th. So leading things off here for Santa Maria, it's going to be Ricky Smith. We also have a new arm coming into this game. Jackson Howell's day is done, and Josue Garcia now toes the rubber for the Blues here in the top of the 6th inning.
Really good outing for Howell. We saw Garcia, earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I am mistaken.
Fouled back.
No, we did. He threw against the West Coast Kings on the 26th. 3 1/3. He gave up a hit, 3 runs, 3 strikeouts, 51 pitches.
Primary catcher who Dean Trainer used in his, quote, in case of emergency situation, came through and filled out a relief role for the Blues. And he's up 0-2 against Landon Mabry. Mabry, who made the last put out that retired the side as this one squirted out to shallow right field. There's a base knock for the Indians.
The Indians want to come back in this game. They got to get it going now. Down 7 runs here in the top of the 6th inning. They haven't been able to put together 2 hits in a row today. I mean, they only have 4 with that Mayberry base hit.
Slowly running out of time against this Blues offense, who have been very potent today. Three of the 5 innings they've gone up to bat, they have scored multiple runs. As first pitch taking is Carson Gomes for strike 1. Throw to first, Johnson bobbles it, but Mayberry stays at first base.
Final line score from Jackson Howell, a very impressive line in 70 pitches in 5 innings. Just 3 hits, 1 run. It was an earned run. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts for the kid.
Very nice day. Something to hold your head high about as you throw on the hoodie down there in the dugout and chop it up with your fellow teammates. Be a nice voice there, cheering on the offense the rest of the way through.
A very good bounce back game, too, after not a great opening day start.
Slide step swinging for strike 3. The most anticlimactic strikeout you will ever see. I think everyone was confused if it was strike 3 or not. But someone's going to walk away with some hot sauce, as there's Josue Garcia's first strikeout of this game.
Yeah, and I got to say, we tried the hot sauce. It was last Sunday on the broadcast, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Brought the bottle that we had on the live stream home. One of my roommates has finished it already.
Oh, my goodness.
He loves it that much.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to convince me. I buy it.
He told me to try to bring another one home with me today, so we'll see what I can do.
You have to buy a program.
I know. $3, not that bad of a deal.
No. Could potentially land you one of the best hot sauces I've ever consumed. Cesar Garcia, who is 0 for 2 on the day, takes a look at ball 2. Good placement by Josue Garcia on that fastball. Didn't miss by much. One out, one runner on, 2-0 to Cesar Garcia. Landon Mayberry reached first on the leadoff single. The Indians' first leadoff base runner of this game. 2-0 right down the middle for strike 1. Cesar Garcia was stepping right into that pitch. His stride was heading into home plate. Sort of the inverse of what we've been seeing, Ryan, with people stepping away from home plate if you're a right-handed hitter. Stepping over the plate again and fouling this one near the Blues bullpen.
Yeah, it's a more traditional, stride and load that we're seeing, where it's more straight at the pitcher. A lot of the hitters, at least at the college level that we've seen here, they like to kind of step away or they slide their back foot out. Very traditional. He is falling over the plate a little bit, maybe losing his balance just a tiny bit out there.
2-2 to Garcia, swinging and punching this one into the netting just over the Blues dugout. We'll do it again at 2-2.
It also might show the fielders his approach a little bit. It looks like he's trying to go the opposite way with it leaning so far out over the plate. Wonder if Furness, Mondeau, and Johnson over there on the right side are reading that and are expecting a ground ball or a fly ball out there.
2-2 again to Garcia. Very delayed swing, but he fouls it right at home plate. Not sure how he hit that. Or, like, even made any contact on that.
Yeah, I have no idea. And Estabrook behind the plate tried to frame it like he got a strike three, a foul tip or something like that, even though it bounced off the back of Garcia.
So Cesar Garcia will do it again here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big lead at first base for Mayberry. Handsy swing, slow roller over to Comerford. Throw on the run is in time. Nice play over there by Brendan Comerford to get the second out of the inning.
Yeah, really good play, charging the ball, picking it up with the glove hand, getting it quick over to his throwing hand, and getting it to Johnson over at first. I think the most impressive part of that play was the exchange from his glove to his hand. It was so fast, it looked like almost like he just bounced it over there.
Very seamless transition over there from Comerford at third base. And that's an extra tough play to make, too, because this infield grass is a little thicker than usual. So you really have to come in and charge it. And it's easy to get lost in handling the ball when you're trying to run there so fast. You're thinking feet first, but you said it, Ryan. Did a great job of keeping the hands smooth and making a nice play. So Noah Duran, who's been getting a lot of action defensively, fouls off the first pitch he sees, and now kicking and firing is Josue, as that one's taken for a ball. Now 1-1 to the center fielder from Santa Maria.
Duran had a really good at-bat. His last time up, saw first pitch, fastball, and drove it for an RBI single, then got to second on an error, got to third on a stolen base.
Blooper in foul ground. Hicksonbaugh can't make the grab.
Hicksonbaugh was there to make that play. I think he was just a little concerned about hitting the fence over there and on the left field, or the third baseline, excuse me.
Yeah, and Hicksonbaugh, primarily an infielder, made the transition into outfield in his time at Monterey Peninsula, and that all started last season with the Blues when he made the switch from shortstop to corner outfield. And that's one of those plays when you're at the corners and there's a ball looping high in the air near the fence. You want to make sure you're sliding into the fence so you can avoid any injury and you can just pop right up and you can slide into it smoothly and keep your head still while sliding on the ground. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and the side is retired. Josue Garcia gets 2 strikeouts and strands a runner at second base for another goose egg for the Santa Maria Indians. It's 8-1 Blues as we head to the bottom of the 6th on the Slow Blues Streaming Network. turnaround here at Sinsheimer Stadium as the Blues are up big against the Santa Maria Indians, 8-1, entering the bottom half of the 6th inning. I'd like to remind you that this inning is brought to you by Studio Design Group Architects. You can contact them at sdgarchitects.com. That's Studio Design Group Architects. For 40 years, they've designed buildings with one thing in mind: people. Nine hits, 8 runs for the Blues. 4 hits, 1 run for Santa Maria. As from the windup is Diaz, and taking for ball 2 is Braden Mondew.
Exactly the guy you want to lead off this inning. He has a walk and a double already today, looking to get on and add on some more runs.
Mondew on the 2-0 takes a look at a fastball at his chest for ball 3. And really, nearly every hitter tonight has been productive. I'd say the black sheep of the group has been Owen Estabrook as he's trying to gel in with his new teammates. Not an easy thing to do. Just coming back from Manhattan, New York.
Especially as a catcher, he's more worried about, making sure that he has all the pitches right, communicating with them on the defensive side of things.
3-1 taking on a fastball inside for the leadoff walk. So Braden Mondew reaches base for the 3rd time tonight, 2nd time via the walk, and now Brendan Comerford steps up to the plate. Comerford, a double in the 1st, a bloop fly out to right in the 3rd, and a scorched fly ball to the left field in the 4th, as this one's hit hard as well, and that's going to be fair. Rounding first is Brendan Comerford, and Mondew is going to come around to 3rd to score. Throw comes in, not in time, and advancing to 3rd is Brendan Comerford. Another double for the kid.
Good piece of hitting there by Brendan Comerford. He almost hit it too hard, and Mondew ran right through the stop sign by Rene Regalado over there at 3rd, but it worked out in his favor, so he got it done.
Earlier today, he held up on the wave from Regalado, and now he runs through the stop sign.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe him and Rene just aren't on the same page over there at 3rd base.
So now it looks like we have a pinch hitter in for Eric Furness. It's Giovanni Blanchette. He was absent for a few games due to a graduation celebration of a sibling. So last time he was in a Blues game, it was opening day against the Coastal Dodgers. First pitch swinging, pops this one straight up, still in play, and no one's going to get there. Converging on it was Kirschenstein and Gomes, and it drops right between them. So another life for Giovanni Blanchette. Blanchette in opening night had 2 base hits, came around to score twice, and was hit by a pitch twice. 0-1 to Blanchette, taking in the dirt for ball 1. 1-1 to Blanchette, the Fresno City College outfielder, with no outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Fastball taken for a ball. Brendan Comerford 90 feet away at 3rd base after advancing to 3rd on his RBI double on the throw. 2-1 to Blanchette. Here it comes. This one served into left field, and a base hit for Blanchette. Trotting home is Brendan Comerford, and Blanchette rolls off the bench and picks up an RBI single for the Blues. There's the 10th run for San Luis Obispo.
I mean, it's at this point just momentum. Blanchette been sitting on the bench all game, but he saw the previous 10 hits that the Blues had, the success of Comerford and Mondew earlier this inning, and now he gets it done and gives the Blues a 9-run lead.
So meeting at the mound for the Santa Maria Indians, they do have one pitcher getting warmed up in the bullpen. Doesn't look like he'll be entering quite yet, but Rene Regalado will give the fist bump over to Blanchette, congratulating him. It's not an easy thing to do after not seeing a competitive pitch for over a week and just rolling off the bench and getting an RBI base hit. Good looks for Giovanni Blanchette.
Yeah, and he had a really good game that first game of the season last Friday. I mean, he was 2 for 3, a stolen base, and 2 hit by pitches as well. That game was kind of ugly. There were about 8 hit by pitches on each side, and Blanchette was a victim of 2 of them. The 2 base hits as well, promising, and he gets his 3rd hit of the season right here.
So now Owen Estabrook itching to join the party here at Sinsheimer. Hitless today. One of 2 batters in tonight's lineup to not have a hit in tonight's contest. As he takes a look at ball 1. Estabrook in his debut as a Blue, grounded to short, flew out to center and struck out swinging. Now with no outs here, he's got a runner at first and wanting to have a quality at bat, move the runner over.
Yeah, he would love to get a hit and join in on the fun that the guys in the yellow jerseys are having tonight.
2-0, big cut, chopped right at home. And that one's going to be foul.
Very delayed call by the home plate umpire. Yeah. But it did sound like to me that it hit off the foot of Estabrook. But he paused for a second and then ran.
2-1 to Owen Estabrook. Blues 11 hits on the evening, and he wants to be number 12. Columbia catcher, noted water polo player, up 2-0 against Diaz. From the stretch, here it is, has the dodge out of the way of the fastball, now 3-1. Ryan, I was actually lucky enough to play water polo in the Adriatic Sea in Croatia.
Wow.
I played against 11-year-old boys, and I got put through the ringer. I mean, I felt like I was in a washing machine. I'm not convinced that water polo isn't just simulated drowning.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's tough. I've never actually played real water polo, as we already mentioned. My roommate has before, though, and he's not that great at it, to be completely honest, but I know the amount of stamina and cardio it takes to just float.
3-2 is served out to right. Couple steps back is Damry, and he squeezes it for the first out of the inning. So Owen Estabrook retired for the 4th time today after the fly out to Jerem Damry and right, who came in to replace Ceja. And so now it's Isaiah Munoz. Double, single, reached on air.
Getting it done, getting on base. Not much you could ask for from the shortstop.
So Isaiah Munoz takes a look at ball 1. Munoz with his upright stance, keeping the bat still on his shoulder, now waving it behind his head. Watching that slider come all the way in for ball 2. Stole a bag last time he was on base, came around to score the first 2 times after the double and the single. 2-0, here's a chopper, and that's going to be foul.
That was the 45th pitch for Diaz. Interested to see how much longer he goes out there. He's given up 2 runs, make that 3 runs. And all the pitches, he's still in a little bit of a jam here with a runner on first and just 1 out.
And Diaz would love to get a ground ball right here, flip a double play and get out of this thing, but not before Munoz touches this one down the left field line and bouncing off the wall. Slipping is Smith, and coming around from third base to score for the 11th Blues run of this game. Blanchette went coast to coast from first all the way around to score off the RBI double from Isaiah Munoz.
Munoz has been swinging the bat exceptionally well today. He has, like you mentioned, 3 hits now after getting off to a slower start this summer. An 0 for 4 day on the 26th with a sac fly. But coming into this game, I believe he had 0 hits but 4 RBIs.
Yeah.
And now he has 3 hits and an RBI today.
You know, Ryan, we were talking about the production that the bottom half of this order has been supplying this Blues offense tonight. Out of the 11 hits, or the 12 hits, half of them have come from 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, it's really incredible what Munoz, Johnson, and Cuccia are putting together right now. And Johnson up at the plate now, a good chance with the runner on second to add even more runs onto this barrage. And then Cuccia after him. It's just going to be a really good game for the Blues and a good confidence booster going into a 2-game set with the Solano Mudcats.
Absolutely. We got a new noodle in for the Santa Maria Indians. We'll go to break and come right back on the SLO Blues streaming network. New arm for the Santa Maria Indians, it's Esteban Fonseca. And he comes in with a runner at second base from Diaz. And he'll face Chris Johnson, who's got 2 hits on the night, both RBI singles.
Yeah, this is the 4th time through the order for the Blues in just the 6th inning, looking to keep this rally going here in the 6th.
Fastball missing inside to the first baseman from SLO High School. All Mountain League second team honors in his final season as a Tiger, as Fonseca comes from the stretch. Kicks and fires on the 1-1. Missing inside again and botching the ball behind the dish is Kirschenstein, but staying at second base is Munoz. Chris Johnson in both of his base hits. Some screamers. One back up the middle, one falling in front of Smith. Really hit hard off the bat.
Yeah, he had a good game in the opening day game on Friday. A base hit, a walk, a hit by pitch, and a very hard hit line drive right at the first baseman. And then in the games following, he wasn't swinging the bat as well. A 0 for 4, followed by a 1 for 3, followed by a 1 for 3. But today he's been putting really good contact on the baseball.
2-1 taken for a strike on Chris Johnson. Off-foot position for Fonseca. The left foot crossing over the right for the right-handed pitcher as he comes set. As Johnson takes a look at the fastball low, count now full at 3-2. 1 out, 1 on at second base. 11-1 lead in favor of the SLO Blues. Put up 3 runs in this inning. Fonseca comes home. Nubbed just over the Slow Blues dugout. We'll do it again at 3-2.
Good job by Chris Johnson to just fight that off, stay alive, see another pitch from the new noodle Fonseca.
Johnson with 11 RBI last season with San Luis Obispo on 26 hits. This one's a dribbler to short. Mayberry's got it, goes over to first. Nice scoop over there by Garcia, and there's a second out of the inning.
Good scoop by Garcia. The shortstop Mayberry was almost a little too lax. Garcia's not that fast, but he was like too relaxed and almost threw it away.
So now it's Caden Cuccia. He's got a base hit back in the fourth. Came around to score. It was an RBI single. Also came around to score on a single in the second. Fastball taken away for ball one. Cuccia also stole a bag after reaching on the bunt attempt in the fifth. And Diaz just flipped it at home to get the out. 1-0 to Cuccia, taken upstairs for ball two. Cuccia, a rising freshman at Kenyatta College. Just graduated from Rigetti High School this past year. Big swing and a miss on the 2-0 fastball.
That was a huge swing from the left-handed batter, Cuccia.
2-1 to him. Here it comes. Missing away again on the fastball is Fonseca. Now 3-1 to the left-handed hitter. Perfect game, preseason All-American, two-time first-team All-Area and All-League for Caden Cuccia. Showing here in his college debut. 3-1 taking all the way for ball four. So the second walk of the day and a two-out base runner for the Slow Blues as we flip to the top of the order to E.J. Royal.
And I feel like Dean Trainer, his approach today with having Cuccia bat ninth was a second leadoff guy. He knows that Cuccia's been getting on base a lot recently. He's done it all 4 times. He's come to the plate tonight. And E.J. Royal at the plate, who is the hottest collegiate player in all of summer baseball right now.
0-0 to E.J. Fastball taken for a ball. E.J. Royal is 2 for 2. A double and a single. 2 RBIs off a sac fly and that single, also a walk. Was caught stealing for the first time this year, back in the first, then stole a bag in the fifth, and that single. Worked himself into a 2-0 count here. The Arroyo Grande native. 2-0 to him. This one's nubbed out to shallow left center, and I can't even believe what I'm watching right now. A base hit for E.J. Royal coming around to second, and an RBI double for the kid. Cut the cameras.
I mean, what more is there to say about E.J. Royal? Utah Tech has a diamond out there. I mean, he is incredible. Jesus, I'm at a loss for words.
There is nothing left to say about the Arroyo Grande product. He just continues to come through for San Luis Obispo, man. Third hit of the night, an RBI double.
Back-to-back 3-hit games for E.J. Royal.
Man. So after the RBI double from E.J. Royal, it's 12-1 Blues. So now Jake Hicksenbaugh gets a shot here with 2 outs, runners on second and third. Folks, be sure to come out to tomorrow's ball game against the Solano Mudcats at 6 p.m. for our first fireworks show. Be sure to show up early. Gates open at 4:30 p.m. Will be a very fun night under the stars and the bright lights of the fireworks.
Yeah, and I would recommend if you want to come to that game, you buy tickets ahead of time at Slow Blues on the website, excuse me.
Yeah, if you haven't done so already, I would do that as soon as you can.
Going to be hard to get tickets at the door. So it's a popular game for people to come out to. I love seeing the fireworks here at the ballpark. We only do it a few times.
2-2 to Hicksenbaugh. Here it comes. Checking his swing and holding it up. Count moves forward to 3-2. And while we're on the topic, make sure you buy your tickets for the July 3rd fireworks game, because that's going to be huge. Tickets are very competitive for that one, so I'd hop on that as soon as you can to reserve your spot to celebrate 4th of July with us here at Sinsheimer. 3-2, 2 outs, runners on second and third for Jake Hicksenbaugh. Here it comes. Taking a look at strike 3. So Jake Hicksenbaugh strands runners at second and third, but the damage has been done. 4 runs in 1 inning, the highest all night for San Luis Obispo. Blues are up 12-1. We'll head to the top of the 7th on the SLO Blues streaming network. 12-1 Blues here as we enter the top of the 7th inning at Sinsheimer Stadium. The lights are turning on. The fog is rolling in here in the coastal valley of San Luis Obispo. Jackets are coming on out. Very exciting one tonight here at Sinsheimer. The Bats have just come alive against the Santa Maria Indians.
Yeah, they absolutely have. It's a cold night, but balls are flying, at least for the guys in the yellow shirts.
1-1 to the leadoff batter for the Santa Maria Indians. It's Matthew Molina, designated hitter. He struck out and walked his 2 ABs today, 2 plate appearances today. Here's the 2-1 to him, stepping out of the way of the pitch down the middle for strike 2. Ryan and I briefly mentioned the festivities at Sinsheimer Stadium with firework night happening this Saturday. Make sure to reserve your tickets for that, as well as the July 3rd, as going down swinging is Molina. So that's the 3rd K for Josue Garcia in his relief appearance.
Yeah, there's a ton that we put on here at Sinsheimer. Fireworks tomorrow night, fireworks on July 3rd. You know, a ton of in-game activities. We have the Footloose Frenzy coming up. We have, obviously the 7th inning stretch is a baseball tradition. That'll happen after this half inning. The tennis ball toss out there. I mean, there's so much fun to have at Sinsheimer.
Big cut from J.B. Kirschenstein for strike 1. And yeah, that's what I was just about to get into. I'm taking a look to my left here and all these kids are piling at the top of the stairs to enter the field for the Footloose Frenzy. One of the more chaotic festivities, but very fun to watch nonetheless, as there's another swing from Kirschenstein, now down 0-2, one away here.
Yeah, and there were a few rule changes made over the weekend to the Footloose Frenzy to ensure the safety of all the fans who want to participate in our games. It's the number one priority here at the ballpark. We want you to have fun, and we want you to be safe.
0-2, swing and miss. 3 swing and misses for J.B. Kirschenstein, and there's the second K of the inning for Garcia.
Just hammering the fastball, Garcia is. It looked like, to me, every pitch was faster and more velocity from Garcia. And it just had Kirschenstein in between his time.
So Ricky Smith has one of the 4 hits in tonight's game for Santa Maria. Digs in now and takes a look at ball 1. He also walked and stole a bag back in the 3rd. He was the first base runner in scoring position, and player to steal a bag in tonight's game. Here's the 1-0 to him. Big hack at the fastball for strike 1.
Yeah, this is the same exact guy who woke up this morning not even on the Indians. We were talking to him a little bit before the game. He thought he wanted to play some baseball this summer and hit up his coach, and he was like, yeah, we got a spot for you, and starting in left field tonight.
Taking the fastball in the other batter's box for now 2-1. And Ricky Smith is a outfielder from Rigetti High School, originally from Santa Maria. He's currently uncommitted. And he sits here at 2-1. We'll take a look at the worm burner for ball 3.
And a good opportunity here for someone who's uncommitted. Down 11 runs and a 3-1 count. Be a little free swinging. See what you can do and impress some people out in the crowd and get your name out there.
3-1 to him after the long hold. This one's fouled straight back after tipping the mitt of Estabrook. Count is now full. Josue Garcia, first 2 outs of this inning, both strikeouts. He got Kirschenstein on 3 swings, the same exact pitch 3 times in a row. Another long hold and a deep breath, kicking and firing on the 3-2. That's strike 3. Josue Garcia strikes out the side, gives a shrug, and swaggly walks into the dugout. As we head into the bottom of the 7th, it is time to stretch at Sinsheimer on the Slow Blue Streaming Network.
Back here in the bottom of the 7th inning after some stretching here at Sinsheimer, and Josue Garcia, striking out the side, 2 swinging, 1 looking. Due up, it will be Mondu, followed by Comerford, and then Blanchette. Mondu, 1 for 2 today, a double, an RBI double, and 2 walks. Second pitch to him is fouled back to the screen, 1-1.
And Braden Mondew has been one of the many productive hitters in tonight's lineup for the SLO Blues. A double, 2 walks, also struck out, came around to score in the 6th. Recently entering his name in the NCAA transfer portal after redshirting a season at BYU. He takes a look at strike 2.
And the summer just became more important for him jumping into that transfer portal, as now there will be more eyes on a player and a good bat up for grabs.
1-2, huge cut for strike 3. So going down swinging for the second time tonight is Braden Mondew, and he got him on the breaking ball.
Good off-speed pitch there, went right back to the slider.
So now it looks like we'll have a pinch hitter in for Brendan Comerford. He certainly did his job tonight, scorching baseballs all over the yard. 2 doubles, and he had a fly out in the 4th that nearly got out of the ball yard. But his night is now done, and now Tyler Stevens will pinch hit for him. Taking a look at strike 1 is the left-handed hitter from San Luis Obispo High School. Stevens next year will be going to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and will attempt to walk on to the baseball team. Finished 3rd in the Big West this season.
Stevens started at third base or he was the DH in the opening day game, third base in the second game of the season. He has 1 hit, 4 walks, and a strikeout, 2 strikeouts.
Stevens now down 0-2 against Fonseca. 12-1 Blues just finished stretching here at Sinsheimer. This one skipping for ball 2 to Stevens. Fans still hanging out, having a good time on the grass concourse, even in the puffer jackets. Huge swing and a miss for strike 3. Back-to-back Ks, Mondew, now Stevens. And there's now 2 away here for Giovanni Blanchette. He got an RBI single rolling off the bench back in the 6th inning. Blanchette, like Jackson Howell, was at St. Mary's the fall of his freshman year. And then after the coaching change, the departure of Greg Moore, both of them decided to hit the transfer portal. So Blanchette wasn't able to find a new NCAA home. So instead he went back to his childhood home at Fresno City and played there. Here's a chopper to short, quickly making the throw over the first. It's offline. So there's an error by the shortstop in Mayberry, and Giovanni Blanchette is aboard. And that's a good base runner to have on the paths as well. Not that the Blues are in desperate need of a base runner, but just a guy who can just show off some speed. Another guy, as you were saying, Ryan, a JUCO guy, a guy who's in the portal just to maybe just, show something off. Could be no feel to steal here, but
yeah, and a good confidence boost for Estabrook, who is yet to have a hit today.
Yeah.
Now runner in scoring position. He knows that if he can get something to touchdown, he's going to get an RBI as well.
Blanchette on second after the ball went out of play on the errant throw from Mayberry. So he's awarded second base. And so now it's Owen Estabrook, one of the 2 players tonight to not find a hole. This one's taken for ball 2.
Yeah, and a really good job by Blanchette to get on base here with 2 outs for the catcher. A little base hit, and then he gets the second base on the air.
2-0. This one's set in the center field. Coming in on it is Duran's going to drop right in front of him. Coming around to score is Blanchette. He'll do it with no problem. There's an RBI single from Owen Estabrook. There's his first hit as a Blue.
And a good piece of hitting, a line drive back up the middle, bounced right in front of Duran out there in center. An RBI base hit for the catcher, and hopefully he can get rolling. We'd like to see him in the squad. He's done a really good job back there defensively today. Made the fans happy in the second inning, hitting the sign out there at second base, and now picking up his first hit and his first RBI as a Blue.
Yeah, it's really good to see Estabrook, someone who's a rising sophomore at Columbia, not trying to do too much in his debut as a Blue. It's very easy to get in front of a big crowd like this with a lot of players who are experienced and have been there before, and you want to impress those guys, especially coaches like Dean Traynor, who have been a professional pitcher and a professional coach. And when you're one of the few guys that doesn't have a hit in 4 at-bats, you often try to do too much once you get up to your 5th, and he did a great job of just keeping the main thing, and put a nice, easy swing on it for the RBI single. Kudos to the kid. 0-2 to Isaiah Munoz, who is seeing it very well right now, and he shoots a base hit to the right side. There's the 4th hit of the night for Isaiah Munoz as Estabrook chugs around for third base.
Isaiah Munoz just getting it done with the bat. That one not hit hard at all, but it just squibs through the right side, and runners on the corners now for Chris Johnson, who's had a few good at-bats. Bottom of this order coming in clutch for the Blues today.
Yeah, Isaiah Munoz. 2 doubles, 2 singles. And I believe we're seeing a pinch hitter coming in now for Chris Johnson after he's tattooed 2 baseballs today. He'll get some relief now in the bottom of the 7th inning. As a turf burner's there for ball 1. Chase Viale is uncommitted from Atascadero. Another Greyhound here for San Luis Obispo. 1-0 is fouled straight back into the screen.
Batting for the Blues, number 22, Chase Viale.
Left-handed pitcher, also an infielder for Atascadero.
Maybe another true first baseman finally on this team for the Blues after only having Chris Johnson last weekend.
1-1. Nice placement there on the breaking ball, in for a strike. Runners at first and third following the Isaiah Munoz single. Here's a huge cut from the kid, and he goes down swinging. Runners stranded at first and third, but the Blues are up 13-1 from the RBI single from Owen Estabrook. We'll head to the top of the 8th inning, 13-1 Blues. SLO Blues Streaming Network. New arm in for the SLO Blues. It's Alec Narin, the wave from Pepperdine. Looks like Josue Garcia's day is done after 2 innings of work. Just allowed 1 hit, no walks, no runs, and 5 strikeouts on 31 pitches.
Really good outing there from Josue Garcia. A little bit of a bounce back outing for both Garcia and the starter Howell. Garcia gave up 3 runs his last time out, and same with Howell. A good bounce back and maybe some confidence as they continue their season here in San Luis Obispo.
Leadoff batter for the Santa Maria Indians, it's Gary Bricker. Bricker struck out and grounded into a double play tonight, 0 for 2. Bricker sends this one out to left. Coming in on it is Hicksonbaugh. Squeezes it for the first out of the inning. 1 pitch, 1 out here for Alec Narin. Now at the top of the order to Jerem Damry.
And that ball kind of shot off the bat of Bricker. I thought it was going to have a better chance to get over Hicksonbaugh's head, but the cold air here in San Luis Obispo just knocked that ball down. I mean, it was 67 around first pitch, and now it's 57, so a 10-degree drop so far today just in this 3-hour game.
The cold nights here of San Luis Obispo could be warm as can be in the day, but then once the night rolls around, that fog creeps in from Morro Bay and fills downtown with all the misty air. 1-0 check swing over to first and botching it, but keeping it in play and tapping on the bag for the second out of the inning. So you're right, Ryan. Coming into play first base is Chase Viale in for Chris Johnson. And he had some trouble corralling that baseball. And a bit of a confusion there at first base. I wasn't sure if he was going to hand it off to Alec Narin or take it himself. I'm not sure he knew either. But it was eventually Viale who took it himself and just tapped the bag for the second out.
Yeah, they collided over there first. A soft collision. No one hurt, fortunately. But Viale just in between.
Buckling his knees on the breaking ball for first pitch is Landon Mabry. 0-1 to the shortstop, who is 1 for 3 today. One of the 4 hits for Santa Maria. Huge swing on the fastball up at his head. Now down 0-2 quickly. to Landon Mayberry. Checking his swing, but holding up. Lompoc native from Cabrillo High School, currently uncommitted, the utility player. Pretty solid year his senior year at Cabrillo High School at 839 OPS, 425 on base percentage. But the one that really opens your eyes that junior year, we had an 1100 OPS, a 582 slugging, 516 on base. 2-2 to him now. Another breaking ball, buckles on it, but doesn't hit the strike zone. So now a full count here with 2 away to Landon Mayberry after the fly out to Hicksonbaugh and the play at first base to Viale. 3-2, 2 outs. Here comes Narin. Swing and a soft pop-up. Coming in on it is Mondu, and he'll come up with it. So the Indians go 1-2-3. The Blues will get the sticks going here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Stay with us. 13-1 Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network. Back here in the bottom of the 8th inning at Sinsheimer Stadium, SLO Blues up huge, 13-1 over the Santa Maria Indians. Making his way back up to the plate for the 5th time today, it's Caden Cuccia, the designated hitter, batting 9th. We go 9-1-2 here in the bottom of the 8th. Caden today reached on base all 4 times. One on a fielder's choice, though, on a sac bunt attempt. 2 walks, a single. Came around to score twice. The single was an RBI. Has a stolen base as well. 0-1 to Cuccia. In there for a strike. So after taking a look at the breaking ball down the middle of the plate, he falls 0-2. The walk-off hero from Memorial Day. Swinging and tapping this one straight into the back netting. And it looks like he swung and missed, actually. So the ball got away, and he'll reach first base on the drop third strike.
That's one way to get it done.
That does it.
He's reached base now safely all 5 times, but once was a fielder's choice, another a drop third strike. So 5 for 5 when you're getting on base.
So, Ryan, what are we going to see here, man?
I'm
out of analysis.
I don't know. I expect a hit, which is crazy at this point, but
E.J. Royal, 3 hits on the day. Another multi-hit game for the kid. Every game he's played in for the Blues, he's had more than 1 hit. He hits this one into right center, falling fast, but coming in on it is Damry, and Royal is retired. Could you believe it?
No, I can't actually with how well he's been swinging the bat. I mean, I don't even know. I was at a loss for words with the RBI double in the 6th. He's just been so good. 13 for 21.
Oh, yep.
Now this season.
Yep.
And I mean, he's walked a few times. He has RBIs here and there. Like, he's just been doing it all.
And you said it earlier in the broadcast. Even when he made an out, it was still productive. It was a sac fly back in the 4th. His first non-productive out of this game as Hixenbaugh takes ball 1.
Yeah, I mean, all weekend his outs have been pretty productive, or all season, I should say.
1-0, nice move to first. Throw almost goes wild, though, but staying at first base is Caden Cuccia. (1-0). Skipping in the dirt. Nice block there from Kirschenstein. Keeping Cuccia at first base. Hixenbaugh up 2-0. Delivery, nice, huge cut from Hixenbaugh. Just a little too early on the changeup. 2-1 to the left-hander from Monterey Peninsula College. Big kick. Taken for a ball. Now 3-1 to Hixenbaugh. And I briefly mentioned what a stud he was in high school. I'm going to go over his senior year with you. As he dribbles this one to the left side, moving to his right is Mayberry on the run, and coming off the bag is Garcia. So at first safely is Jake Hixenbaugh.
That was going to be a really hard play for Mayberry, whether or not he gloved it, as Cuccia was on first with plenty of speed, and Hixenbaugh, as we know, has tons of speed as well and picks up his first hit. Now every starter, every player actually, because Blanchette has hits as well, has a hit for the Blues.
Very nice offensive evening for San Luis Obispo. As, yeah, I mean, the throw wouldn't have beaten Hixenbaugh anyway, as here's a pass ball. Both runners move one station up. Now second and third here for Braden Mondu. But yeah, let me just briefly go over the senior year cartoon stats that Hixenbaugh had. How about a 1,400 OPS and an 829 slugging, 615 on base, a 543 average.
I mean, he had 17 doubles in 51 hits.
That's freakish.
That is freakish. I mean, what? That's a he's getting a hit over half the time he steps up to the plate, and then in those times that he's getting a hit, about a third of the time he's getting a extra base hit.
Looking to call a new place home, entering his second season at Monterey Peninsula. But now here is Mondu, who sends this one to the left side, and moving to his right was Mayberry. He can't come up and make the play and come in to score another run for San Luis Obispo.
Another knock for Mondu, his second of the day. Another RBI, his second of the day. These Blues bats are just on fire.
And that wasn't one of those loud contacts that we've been seeing all day. It was a medium hit ground ball. Having to make the backhand play on the run was Mayberry. It's a tough play to make. The infield RBI single is Braden Mondu. As now Tyler Stevens steps in for the second time this evening. He came in to pinch hit for Brendan Comerford. And in his at-bat in the seventh, he struck out. Huge swing on the curveball, count even at 1-1. The future Cowboy Mustang takes it in the dirt. Some light action in the Blues bullpen. Omar Reynoso refueling on seeds. Throwing a couple tosses to the bullpen catcher. Nice breaker to Tyler Stevens. He swings right through it. Runners on first and second to the left-handed future Mustang. Blues up 14-1 in the bottom of the eighth. Nice spin on the curveball there, this time missing just a little too low for ball three. Full count to Stevens, the former SLO high school Tiger. Served foul out of play. Staying alive on that foul ball is Tyler Stevens. Missing downstairs for ball four. So now that will load the bases for Giovanni Blanchette.
Blanchette has two good swings today already. An RBI, 2 runs, and just 2 at-bats. Looking to continue this barrage.
Yeah, the Blues are absolutely ambushing Santa Maria tonight. 18 hits. So far, a season high.
Freakish number out there.
It really is. Blanchette takes a look at strike one. Rolled off the bench today, got an RBI single. Reached on air in the seventh. Came around to score both of those times he was on base. Blanchette was one of 2 players to represent the SLO Blues on the South team in the CCL Showcase in Compton. It will be held there again this year, and got a few guys in mind already who I would like to represent San Luis Obispo. Skipping in the dirt and holding up at third is Blanchette. Blanchette, who saw minimal action at Fresno City College, just in 11 games, just 12 at-bats, 4 hit by pitches, though. Wanted to show what he's got here as he sends that one down the left field line, but foul.
And I really liked what Hicksonbaugh did in that 0-2 breaking ball, up 13 runs. He didn't try to leg out a wild pitch run. He's going to let Blanchette just hit, and he's not going to, add more runs onto this already 13-run lead if he doesn't have to.
Here's the 1-2, another dribbler, Rene Regalado, third base coach. Nice play.
Not the greatest throw,
Yeah,
though.
come on, make the throw,
Yeah,
Rene.
I know.
Man.
A good pitch by.
Have some feel.
Yeah, I know. Good.
Blanchette, big swing and a miss for strike 3. Breaking ball really looking nice late in this game for Santa Maria. Big looper. got Tyler Stevens out, and now it gets Blanchette. Got the swing from Tyler Stevens, not the out. So striking out for the second out of the inning was Blanchette. So now Owen Estabrook comes up, and he punches that one down the right field line. There's the second hit of the day for Owen Estabrook in his SLO Blues debut, and it's a 2 RBI single.
And he just got off to a slow start, but now he has back-to-back hits, 3 RBIs on the day. Blues just continue to add it on. They're 16 runs on 19 hits.
A slow start to the day, but hopefully the beginning of a fun, slow summer.
Yeah, they're going to improve to 4-1 after today's game.
Chopper right in front of home plate, but foul. And so this is a candidate here, Ryan. We're just like kind of analyzing who the best players are for this in this game. And there's lots to choose from, a lot of performances offensively. But I think my guy is Isaiah Munoz.
Yeah, he's had an incredible day. 4 for 5 with an RBI, 3 runs, getting it done everywhere.
There's a sword from Munoz that rolls to the backstop, but the runners stay at their stations. And I mean, Munoz just all of a sudden is back to his College of Sequoia's form here tonight. Been struggling with the Blues, been hitting the ball on the ground a lot down to the left side. A lot of action to the shortstop. He was hitless through the first 4 games. He was 0 for 4 last night, 3 Ks, a sac fly. Shows up tonight, a casual 4-hit day.
Yeah, we were kind of like, I don't even know what the word is, but just looking at his first game of the season, which was opening day, where he went 0 for 4, and every single ball he hit was at the shortstop. It was a 6-3 putout, a line out to the shortstop, another 6-3 putout, and then a 6-4-3 double play.
And here's another base hit for Munoz, right back up the middle. So runners go station to station. That will fill them up. Now, Chase Viale, second AB of the day.
20 hits on the evening for your SLO Blues as they continue to add it on here in the 8th inning.
20 hits, 5 of them coming from Isaiah Munoz. Viale chops this one down the right field line, but foul.
They don't do all 16 regular season games. So Amazon Prime Thursday football. They do them all.
Viale came in to pinch hit for Chris Johnson in this ball game. Back in the 7th inning, he came in and struck out. But in Chris Johnson's day, he was 2 for 4, 2 singles, 2 RBIs.
And having some really good at-bats. I was talking to him last weekend, and it's just a fun time watching his at-bats. Even if he's getting out, he's seeing a lot of pitches. He's a really good ball player.
And they were especially fun today because of how hard he was hitting the ball.
Yeah, even in the fielder's choice he had in the 4th, he hit the ball really hard on the ground, just right at the second baseman. And then even when he grounded out in the 6th, that was a 7-pitch at bat. So he's seeing the ball really well.
2-2 to Chase Viale. Two to Viale. 2 away here. Bases loaded. SLO Blues up. Seeing downstairs and getting away from the catcher Kirshenstein there for ball 3. Count full and a 16-1 lead for San Luis Obispo. Left-hander delivers, pokes at it, shoots it into the netting above the Indians' dugout. And it's one thing to talk about the 20 hits, but there's also 3 errors for Santa Maria. As here's a bases loaded walk. It's now 17-1, San Luis Obispo off the bases loaded walk here in the 8th.
$3 Miller Lights, $3 Fabulous Wine now through the end of the inning.
As Joe Hernandez Jr. makes the trip out to the mound to talk to his southpaw. One pitcher warming up in the Santa Maria bullpen. Unsure who it is, as it's rather dark over there. Can't see any numbers.
And Nate, this game, a 16-run game, getting a little empty here at the ballpark. But you know what? It won't be empty tomorrow.
That's right.
When we got fireworks here at the ballpark, get your tickets online. Come out, enjoy some Blues baseball against the Solano Mudcats, and after the game, a fireworks show. One of just 2 on the season.
You're going to want to stick around for this one. You're definitely not going to want to leave early tomorrow. It's the sign of the summer, folks. This is how we kick it off. We've been having warm weather lately. The Blues put up 20 hits tonight, and now fireworks. OO is taken for a strike here to Caden Cuccia. He's batting for the second time this inning. Pops this one up. Still in play for the third baseman, Gomes, and it actually goes out of play into the bullpen.
Cuccia reached his last time up on a drop third strike. He struck out once already this inning. Hopefully you don't strike out twice in one inning.
And at bat, that feels like a decade ago. Almost hits him on the breaking ball. Rushing to get it is Kirschenstein for ball 1. One and two away, bases loaded for Caden Cuccia, the perfect game preseason All-American. This one softly hit, left side, Mayberry on the run, throw, not in time. RBI single for Caden Cuccia. That's the second hit of the day for him and his second RBI.
Now reached base all 6 times he's come to the plate. The 21st hit, the 18th run, and now it's the opening weekend MVP, E.J. Royal.
Looks like the manager for the Indians, Joe Hernandez, is going to walk out and go to his bullpen. So the Blues absolutely wreaking havoc on the Indians. And it's going to force manager Hernandez to go to the pen. Blues up 18-1 on the SLO Blues streaming network. New arm for the Santa Maria Indians as the catcher Kirschenstein goes out to talk to his new right-hander. It's Emilio Martinez coming in a bases-loaded 2-out situation with the Blues up 18-1, 21 hits versus 4.
E.J. Royal at the plate, who already has 4 RBIs on the day. He could double that number right here if he wanted to.
Some chatter between the home base and field umpire. Gets resolved. And here's E.J. Royal. Flew out to right field his last time up. But before that, sac fly, 2 doubles, a single, a walk. 3 RBI on the day. And a stolen base. Takes a look at ball 1. Royal, I mean, I'm out of words. A base hit up the middle for E.J. Royal. Another run comes in, Ryan.
There is just no way to describe Ethan Royal other than red hot.
I should just stay silent his next at bat and just let the barrel do the talking.
Yeah, I don't know. We might have to get him like a mic up interview or something while he's at the plate. Like we need to hear this contact right next to. I mean, he just hits the ball so hard. Every
he could
time.
be doing a headstand and probably get a base hit the way he's playing right now. I mean, he is playing out of his skull as he's on first base with the RBI single. Huge cut from Jake Hicksonbaugh. As the Blues are now up 19-1.
Yeah, I mean, E.J. Royal, I mean, we have the dizzy bat competition. I think he could get a base hit after doing the dizzy bat.
Here's Hicksonbaugh pulling it down the right field line. That's going to be fair. Hicksonbaugh trotting into second base on the 2 RBI double. And the Blues have surpassed 20 runs as it's 21-1 Blues.
I mean, it's just an onslaught here at Sinsheimer. If you want to see this offense, you got to come in person because it is unreal.
Yeah, catch them while they're hot. Get them while they're hot. Coming off the press. Jake Hicksonbaugh, a high-towering double down the right field line. Real solid double extra base hit for the kid.
Their 8th run of the inning.
This one pops straight up. Difficult to see for the catcher and Kirschenstein, and he can't make the play. Real tough play to make with a pop fly towering that high above the lights.
Yeah, definitely a tough play. 8 runs in this inning. It's just been an onslaught. The Blues offense just hasn't slowed down at all today. Only 2 innings where they didn't score runs. Only 1 inning where they scored runs, and it wasn't at least 2 runs, I should say.
Save the hits for tomorrow. As Braden Mondew digs in for his 7th plate appearance today. 2 hits, a double, and a single. As the slider's in there for a strike, now falling 1-2, the former BYU Cougar. After the 2 RBI double, here's Mondew, and this fastball skips away towards the backstop. Eight-run inning for San Luis Obispo. Last time they were shut out was back in the 3rd. Since then, 3 runs, 2 runs, 4 runs, 1 run, 8 runs.
Just a Blues barrage.
Swinging. Here's a ground to the left side. Coming in on it is Mayberry, and safe at first is Mondew. Coming in to score another Blues run.
In case you don't know, every time the Blues score, you score.
And the fans who are remaining here at the ballpark got to be happy. It's a Blues score, you score inning as it's still the 8th, and the Blues have scored 9 times. So I think they're getting that $3 discount.
So now it's Tyler Stevens. He struck out and walked, and he takes a look at strike 1. My scorebook is so colorful. It's like a leprechaun threw up on my page. A laser shot right back to the mound and a great snag to end the inning. The Blues get a huge ovation after 9 runs in the 8th. We head to the 9th, 22-1 on the SLO Blues streaming network. Here to close things out for San Luis Obispo, Omar Reynoso, the southpaw from San Mateo College and a Santa Maria native, playing against his hometown team. The Bulldog finished up his first year up at San Mateo. 10 1/3 innings pitched, 6.10 ERA. Last season with the Blues, 11 2/3, a 3.09 ERA. Was absolutely dominant his senior year at St. Joseph's High School. ERA under 1. His fastball slips away for ball 1.
And it's probably that big looping curveball that he has. It has so much break, and it has these hitters in between times. You're not going to see a lot of power stuff out of him, but a lot more finesse.
Finessing on the changeup and fouling it out of play is Carson Gomes. Gomes, 1 for 3. One of the 4 hits on the day for Santa Maria. Also stole a bag and came around to score back in the 4th inning. The lone run of this ball game for Santa Maria. Shoots this one straight back into the netting for strike 2. Ballpark still has SLO fans in it, hanging out in the orange seats, enjoying the night under the lights at Sinsheimer. This breaking ball slips out of the grip of Reynoso, count even at 2-2.
Hopefully this hitting barrage that we're seeing from the Blues is something that continues throughout this season. They've looked really good up at the plate today.
Reynoso gets the swing and a miss for strike 3. So Carson Gomes strikes out to begin the top of the 9th inning. And now striding up is Cesar Garcia. That's Gomes' 3rd strikeout of the day. Cesar Garcia grounded to third twice, into second once. 0 for 3. Takes a look at the fastball upstairs.
I think one thing that might go a little unnoticed tonight is how dominant the pitching staff has been for the Blues. They've only given up 4 hits on the day and just the 1 run. A really good outings from Narin, who threw an inning, Garcia, who threw 2, and then Howell, who threw 70 pitches in 5 innings and struck out 6 batters.
Yeah, I think that all started with the solid outing from Jackson Howell. Everything from then on was just building off the nice work he threw together, starting things off with those 5 innings of work. 1-1 slider skipping in the dirt for ball 2.
Yeah, he had that 10-pitch first inning. That was super impressive. And then he comes out, gets 3 batters again in a row in a 16-pitch inning. Gives up his first base runner in the 3rd inning, but still manages to throw 16 pitches again. Then he gave up the run in the 4th. A little bit longer of an inning. He gave up 20 pitches. And then an 8-pitch inning to end his outing in the 5th. Just really efficient outside of that 4th inning. And he could have gone deeper in this game, but I think he was pulled out due to the fact that at that point it was such a big lead already.
Taking a look at strike 2 is Garcia.
Garcia, the only guy in this Indians lineup to not have struck out so far tonight.
Fighting this one off straight back. Do it again at 2-2. (22-1) lead, mostly being fueled by the explosion in the 8th inning from San Luis Obispo. 9 runs. Swinging it and fouling back towards the netting again. 2-2. Two and two. Fouling it straight back into the netting again is Garcia. We'll do it again at 2-2. Reynoso comes set, kicks and fires. Breaking ball missing away, now fills it up 3-2. Omar steps right back in. Comes set from above his head. Nods at home twice. Here he comes. Fouling it again is Cesar Garcia.
This now the longest at-bat of the night for either team, as this will be the 10th pitch from Reynoso to Garcia.
(3-2) as Reynoso comes set. Front foot offset from the back. From the belt. Fouling it off again is Cesar Garcia.
Careful out there in the dark, kids. Free foul ball brought to you by the Left Coast T-shirt Company.
And I got to give Garcia some kudos. A really good at-bat here. He's put the ball in play 3 times. Made it difficult for the Blues to get him out. They have so far all 3 times he's been to the plate.
Fighting off pitches from Reynoso right now as he comes on the 3-2 and shoots this one foul again. Cesar Garcia just will not go down without a fight. Reynoso's been picking away at that outer half of the zone, and Garcia just keeps spoiling it away.
Yeah, our free foul ball sponsor is giving away a lot of balls in this at-bat. A 5th foul ball of this at-bat, 4 of which have made it over the netting and are going home with a fan.
3-2 again. Swinging and fouling it off. You'll never believe it. Again.
I'm running out of places to mark strikes and balls in the little box I got here on my scorebook. It's about halfway full. If he gets on base, I'm going to have some troubles filling in the diamond.
Cesar Garcia from Santa Maria High School, currently uncommitted. Eager at the 3-2, the hesitation from Reynoso, and I'm getting deja vu, Ryan.
Yeah, every foul ball is going off to the right, too. It's like the exact same foul ball every single time.
Spot.
Kids are just camping over there waiting to take a ball home. There's about a dozen of them just waiting.
Cesar Garcia will not quit in this at-bat. Skipping in the dirt for ball 4. After fouling off 7 pitches, Cesar Garcia is awarded first base on the walk.
All right, Nate. Over, under 13.
Oh, this is what we're doing?
13 and a half pitches in that at-bat.
I'm hammering the over every day of the week.
It was 14.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that was a long at-bat. Like you mentioned, 7 foul balls, and then finally draws the walk on the 14th pitch.
I believe a quality at-bat is officially a quality at-bat, one of the many categories that fills in there. I think it's after seeing 7 pitches. So he had 2 quality at-bats in one as the pick to first goes awry, and Garcia takes off for second, rounds it, and will stay at second base. So now the double play is eliminated off the errant throw from Omar Reynoso.
I was going to say, what would the irony be if Garcia had a 14-pitch walk, and then on the first pitch of the at-bat, Duran grounds into a double play?
That is eliminated now off the throwing error from Reynoso. There's Noah Duran, the center fielder, is the recipient of ball 1. 1 out, 1-0 count to Duran. Nice movement on the fastball, taken for strike 1. Duran from Wasco, California, currently uncommitted, looking for a new home next season. Fouling this one straight back, now 1-2 to the utility player. Duran with his silver helmet and red batting gloves waggles his bat behind his neck. Swinging and missing for strike 3. There's the second out of the inning, and the Blues are an out away from putting a bow on this one. Reynoso climbs the ladder on Noah Duran, and now Matthew Molina down to their last out, trailing by 21 runs. If you like diamonds, don't go to a jeweler. You should check out my scorebook.
Yeah, there's 23 of them. And we got 2 scorebooks up here.
Molina down 0-1 with 2 away here and a runner on second base. Nice breaker from Omar, floating into the strike zone for strike 2. The Blues 1 pitch away from saying goodnight. 0-2. Throw to third. And Tyler Stevens can't squeeze it. It was called a ball at home, but I thought that was in there for a strike, Ryan.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the home plate umpire was just thrown off by a guy stealing third in an 0-2 count in a 21-run ball game.
I got to say that threw me off, too.
Goes down as a stolen base for Garcia.
1-2, taken outside for ball 2. Awfully close pitch there to Molina, but he stays alive. 2-2 here. 2 away and a runner at third. The delivery from Reynoso. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The SLO Blues win big time against the Santa Maria Indians by a mark of 22-1.
Really good offensive firepower from the Blues. Really good job on the mound as well. Mentioned earlier in this inning, they only gave up the 4 hits, but 24 of their own. Let's pick a player of the game each. I think that's a good way to go when you have 24 hits in a game. I mean, it could be E.J. Royal, who had 5 RBIs, 4 hits, reached base 5 times, or Munoz with a 5-hit game, an RBI, 4 runs. Who's it going to be for you?
I think for me it's got to be Isaiah Munoz because he came into this one hitless, and he was so close. He was hitting the ball well. It was just on the ground right to the shortstop. And it's very frustrating when you're getting a similar outcome like that. It's the definition of insanity, right? And so he finally was able to put the ball in the air, and once he was able to do that, he was able to find holes. He hit it over guys' heads. He was punching it up the middle. He wasn't living on the left side anymore, and that's where we see this 5-hit game from Isaiah Munoz. So a huge comeback night for the kid. Hopefully he can pick up some momentum after this one.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. A great night for him. He wasn't doing too much. He was just hitting the ball in play, trying to keep it away from the shortstop, which it felt like there was a magnet in the balls that he was hitting in the shortstop's glove. And he was able to get on base all 6 times. He reached on an error once and had 5 hits, stolen base, 4 runs. I think another player to mention is Caden Cuccia, who reached base safely all 6 times he came to the plate, had a pair of hits, 2 RBIs. He's been really swinging the bat well after he had the walk-off hit on Monday.
I think a sleeper offensive guy to look at, too, is Braden Mondew. He collected 3 hits tonight, came around to score 2 times. He reached base safely 5 times. He had 2 walks as well. He did have those 2 strikeouts, but just some more production from Braden Mondew, who just hit the ground running ever since he came to San Luis Obispo. So hopefully some stuff they can carry into tomorrow as they get ready for a 2-game set against the Solano Mudcats. Not much to analyze here, folks. A bloodbath at Sinsheimer's, 22-1 in favor of your SLO Blues. We'll be back here tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock as we get you ready for the Solano Mudcats on a firework night, the first one this summer. Should be lots of fun, folks. For Ryan Giacomini, my color commentator, my name is Nate Mills. Thank you for tuning in to the SLO Blues streaming network. Have a good night.